ready for this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're going to have, of course, our next game coming up, OpTic versus Team Baidu. This is going to be a fun one because, again, we've seen plenty of OpTic, so seeing more of them I don't think is an issue. They're 2-1 right now. But Baidu, they're one of these wild card teams that you were hyping them up especially.
I'm hyping them.
They're a bunch of, Chinese-American players that kind of came out of nowhere, I feel like.
Yeah, I think, well, if you play pubs, you've probably played, I mean, Brax has probably played. You've got, like, Baidu King, who is a known rager, but also a known game winner. Like, you have very weird people where people aren't good and they game rage, you hate them, but people are good and they rage, you're like, well, game-by-game basis.
You'd rather win, right?
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
Yep. And as well, hello, MRP. Are you here, my good friend?
No.
Hello. Just kidding, that wasn't him. That was me.
He's here.
Tricked ya.
MRP.
Now, before we get into the game, though, so it turns out you were not lying. You were right. The
when have I ever
was
lied?
true.
Like
That's
today.
Dangerous question.
When?
Like
Fact.
in the last 5
Hello,
minutes, when has he
MRP.
ever lied?
Aloha, gentlemen.
Hey.
Lovely to hear your voices.
You as well, my friend. How's it going?
Going great, man. I need you to channel some of that analyst Grant for me. I know Observer Grant and Play-by-Play Grant, shout out to them, have been doing work through the qualifiers here, but and I pop in and ask you this question. Team Baidu King, you basically called it from the beginning that they were a threat to make it through qualifiers, open qualifiers, and they did. Now, most people consider them bottom 3, right? But do you think there's a chance they squeak into top 5 here and ruin someone's day?
I think with how Complexities looked, I think they could easily beat Complexity for the 5th slot. I actually do. Complexity.
Really?
I don't know about Immortals, right? Immortals could have Goku'd into the time chamber and become great, right? No one's seen them. Like, we just haven't seen Immortals.
Immortals was in this event until you said that. That's true.
I think Baidu King Stat can definitely beat Cole as well as Immortals and get up there. I'm hyped.
Yeah, so the one that I would think is like on the fringe is definitely Immortals, but like you said, Complexity hasn't necessarily looked as strong as they have in the past. So will be interesting to see that like bottom 4 or 5 fight for those last 2 spots.
Man. All right, I got the draft here. So we were going to possibly preview the Immortals, but we'll save that for later.
Sure. We just looked. Yeah, MRP. Did you see Immortal 2 is finally out?
I did. That Viper Immortal looks.
Let me check for you.
Kind of creepy, but everything else looks.
It's like Venno and Viper had a baby. Is what that is right
sick.
there.
That is
scroll down
sick as hell.
There you
okay,
go.
is that good? Yeah. That's sick. If you don't think that's sick, then you're a sick person. That's facts.
I mean, it's cool. It's
Physically?
just. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. The animation of the Nether Toxin. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, sorry.
Like
on our screen, MRP, we're looking at the draft as well as the Immortal 2. We are actually we are on some production level stuff I could not do.
You know, I don't know where Rob and Eric are when you need them, but I was definitely expecting a floating head of mine sitting beside you there.
Oh, that would have been sick.
Keep going, Juggernaut.
Damn.
Doesn't have a big
This
sword.
one's cool.
Yeah,
this one's really cool.
Okay, Immortal 2 is sick.
But in game, I thought
Yeah.
it was like an orange sword, though. Yet here it's showing like a purple pinkish.
All right, well, we've already got drafts.
I don't care. Okay, go to
I
the
want
next
to see
one.
Jug spin.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the spin break.
Okay.
We can talk about the drafts in between that. That's sick. But a Warlock opening, I think we've all talked. Warlock is on the fringe of being broken. I wouldn't say he's broken, but he's a very good hero. And they just bring it up with a Bloodseeker.
He's like one of those guys you can't ban because you don't want to use a ban on, but he's still like in that first phase in every single game.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's been seen. We saw Visage not banned last game against OpTic, but 3 out of the 4 games, Lycan and Visage have been banned against OpTic. The 3/3 heroes, there's a specialties for him. The same case here.
One of the
another Immortal 2 hero here with the Doom.
We'll see if he has it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
He might, but this one is not as like flashy.
Well,
we'll see what it looks like. It's not as flashy though.
Haven't seen the Devourer animation.
Yeah.
Don't know what it looks like.
Exactly. But I like Doom. I think a lot of teams have been actually falling off of Doom. I'm not really sure why.
That's kind of cool. I like
just
that.
other offlaners have been coming up, and Doom kind of fell out a little bit more. I don't know if anyone else knows why.
I think the big problem with Doom is that he doesn't lane that well against a lot of heroes. Like, he's really good against melees in particular.
Yeah.
But he has no armor. He gets destroyed by a lot of these safe laners.
Yep. So that means we are going to be going to the next ban phase. Who do you pick versus Bloodseeker? Bloodseeker is very good versus just everyone, right? You just want people to get low, and then you just right-click people, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any hero that just wants to sit there and stand still when they get ruptured? I mean, there's small things you can do, like Chen can send back whenever he gets ruptured.
That's nice.
Io can relocate you out.
Yep.
But
Yeah, I think in general, Yule's builders can work too.
Yeah.
Zeus is kind of a pseudo counter or soft counter in the sense that he can blow him up. So I like the Zeus. Yeah, Razor can work.
Razor's pretty good. Interesting in that OpTic, this is their, again, the 4th game in a row we're seeing them. This is the 3rd time they first picked Bloodseeker. Now, against whoever they just, Team Leviathan, they didn't pick it. It ended up getting banned in the 2nd phase bans. But I'm curious on the logic there from PPD and why they chose to pass up against Leviathan. But
I think in a game like that, I think you're not worried. And you don't want to give something
away.
Honestly, I don't think you want to give stuff away. I think it was the same.
They felt very confident.
That is definitely a factor going into these games. They're best of ones, right?
I think it's, if you watch the SEA games, Fnatic last picked Eternal Envy of Jakiro, and that's just kind of a thing. Either maybe teams will ban it versus we get a free ban. Like, they're not actually going to play that versus good teams. I hope not.
So what I like about the Bloodseeker is that he's a carry that can play in all 3 lanes. And when you see Warlock, you know one lane is not a threat. Right, this one lane is just built to survive. It's not actually built to kill anyone, so they could put Bloodseeker +1 against the Warlock lane, and they'll probably crush it, honestly.
Yeah, it's true.
I like the bans, though, from Baidu King so far. Lash is definitely something that OpTic tend to run a lot, and Veno as well. And those are 2 heroes that kind of just run in the fight and force you to run away, and Bloodseeker loves kind of chaotic, spread-out fights like that. I mean, the Visage is also another one where you can kind of, without threat, just throw your birds in and force a hero to back while he's ruptured. And obviously that was banned in the 1st phase, but I think so far that Baidu King's actually done his homework here.
I like Clockwork here for the Clockwork Shadow Fiend combo. They could go that. Although that was their only loss today. So
speaking of doing your homework, if you didn't know, they have a coach as well. He used to be part of the Tongfu NA squad in 2015. He as well went back to China. Didn't really like the tier 2 Chinese scene. Came back here. Now he's coaching. Goes by just WAY Way.
For Team Baidu, you're talking about?
Yeah, he's their coach. He is a very WAY. Well, so you can spell way different ways. Okay. No, he's a very good coach. I talked to him. They do their homework. This is not just a stack thrown together to hope to go through this. They are a team.
These guys are a team.
Yes.
Play to win.
Undying.
Undying's another kind of hero that PPD I feel like he likes. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays at this game and you have Zion the Witch Doctor instead. But I've also become more and more sold on this hero in general. For the longest time, wasn't really maybe the strongest in the meta, but eventually when the dual aggressive lanes became very relevant is where he started to shine, right? He's good at that with the decay spam. And Tombstone's always going to be an annoying ability to fight up against, so I like it here.
I think, yeah, any hero that can, as you said, can just go to a dual lane and you're like, well, we're not really going to lose this. Like, you don't want to man fight an Undying. He takes your HP, he gains HP, he deals damage. That's a 3-fer.
And he smells, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's just, ugh.
He's got everything.
He's got everything. And
except a stun.
Except a stun. But Tombstone's like a stun, pretty much. You throw it and people move a lot. That's nothing like a stun.
It's like it's like Phoenix Egg, right? You sit there and you can't fight through it. You have to actually focus it down. Not many support heroes can actually do that.
And he has talents that boost it up. That's the thing. Phoenix and Undying, like the fact they have something like that and they just get talents on top of it just made him so
And then he has level
heroes.
20 talent where it's like, well, you kill him. He's like, all right, well, another Tombstone. There you go.
Yep. Sand King.
MRP, I know you wanted to say something. What was it?
Yeah, no, just to Brax's point earlier, how, it's kind of a stalemate lane with the Warlock in it. This Undying allows you to apply pressure with committing very little early on. And the other thing that you notice from the opening that I think PPD is kind of recognizing here is neither Warlock nor Doom want to be in the middle of the fight. Like, Doom can be in the middle of the fight and can build to be tanky, but he's got that base attack time that's like 2 seconds long. So he's not going to be hitting a Tombstone, right? And even this Sand King pick, although I definitely consider it a strong laner and something you can counter the Undying with, I think, through these 3 heroes thus far, you don't have any heroes who are really good at dealing with Tombstone.
It's true. Yep. And you need someone who can deal with Tombstone. It doesn't matter. Even if it's a core, it's better than Phoenix in that way. Like, Tombstone will die a little bit quicker than Phoenix. So you're okay committing a core to do that.
So would like a troll be good here then for Team Baidu to help address that?
I think Baidu's going to pick Lina next first off.
Well, that's a good one too. Yeah.
Especially because OpTic banned TA, which is Lina's worst thing. But I could see something like that as well. I don't know. Baidu King team does like running Lina, as I watched in open qualifiers.
Yeah,
I'm kind of feeling the range core as well. Maybe the Mirana or the Lina, just because they have such a good front line now.
Queen of Pain. Okay.
Death Prophet's a hero that we don't really see much right now, do we, in these qualifiers?
Weehaw was playing it in SA, but besides that, we haven't seen in like Europe, SCA, anything like that now. I'm interested because I think the middle matchup is probably the team's best 2 individually skilled players, CCNC and CG. Like, CG used to be garbage 2 years ago, I'll say it. And he is definitely, he has gotten way, way better. I think he's top 30 right now for sure. And he's a very good player, so I think that's going to be an interesting matchup.
You know, that's like the most appropriate way to shit on someone, right? You used to be garbage, but now you're great.
Now you're great. So I'm not actually like, if it was 2 years in the past, like if I'm Back to the Future, then I would. But okay, the BTY Classic.
Is this hero dumb? Does anyone else feel as, you know, I feel very terribly about Luna. I think she's broken right now, but
in what way?
It's just like you hit a certain point in the game where you lose one team fight and your base is gone.
True.
Yes, that's exactly
Luna does do that, yes.
Yep.
It's a risk of going up against a hero. Yeah, don't lose the fights then.
That's why Terribly was so good, right? It was the same thing with Terribly. You lose one fight, he will absolutely destroy your base in a little different way than Luna, but it was the same thing.
Yep. Luna gets to a point where she just farms everything on the map, gets Aegis, walks up to the high ground, and you can't do anything. If you walk in, you die, and you just sit there and watch your base die.
I think the thing is you definitely can bully this hero in lane. If you really want to, if it's dual lanes, it's harder to, but if you really want to do a tri-lane, I think you do it versus Luna because it forces them to do a tri-lane, and then you just pick 2 other good laners in your other lanes, and you might lose your tri-lane, but whatever.
Yeah, even though Luna is good at tri-lanes because of the Lunar Blessing or whatever.
She wants levels.
Exactly. You're delaying the levels, and she needs levels for the glaives, or else she doesn't actually farm fast.
So what mid hero? You mentioned Lena. Lena is still there.
And if I'm looking, I think Lena's the best because who else would you actually pick versus Queen of Pain?
Yeah.
And it's good versus Undying Tombstone because you already have those natural stacks doing a lot of attack speed.
It's someone to play with the Sand King, too. Yep. With the Sand King, Lena can actually kill any hero on the map.
Yeah. Natural Yules builder against a Bloodseeker. It seems to fit really well, and there's not too many great matchups. Like, Quap isn't the lane dominator she used to be, but there aren't too many great matchups, and Lena's one that definitely can fare pretty well.
I'm just thinking, anyone else, what do you do? You don't really necessarily, sorry, Breaky, you don't need, like, the lead, because, like, usually when you get Lena, you're like, oh, we're going to carry into the late game as well. With a Luna, that's the only late game you truly need on a team, but we'll see.
Yeah, I agree.
It's Lena. All right. I'm fine with it. I think it's the best pick.
It's a good call. Lena looks like the best hero in this situation.
Easily.
Honestly, she wins all these matchups. TA is like the hardest one, and TA is banned. There's also not that big of a threat of like any potential like roamers coming in mid. Witch Doctor comes with a cast that flies in slow motion basically. Undying's not gonna come mid. So looks good.
So we need this could be, I think we're gonna see the 33 hero here.
Yeah, kind of have to. And
is this
it could be an offlane Bloodseeker, but I think it's going to be I think this will be 33.
It can actually be anything.
It can.
Yeah.
I think CCNC is going to play Quap. So
yeah, probably.
Besides that, I don't know. What about is Underlord that bad in this game? You get a Crimson Guard versus all these heroes. 33 just tanks up front. I don't think it's great, but if you do pick an offlaner,
I'm really confused because I don't know what hero it's going to be.
Shadow Demon.
Yeah.
Shadow
3-3 has played Shadow Demon before, and it is decent here.
Counters Luna?
Yeah.
True.
Do you think that it's set in stone that the Bloodseeker safe lane, though? I feel like they could still flex to like a Morphling.
They could.
Here.
I think it's just PyCap playing the Bloodseeker. That's my like personal thoughts on it. But it definitely could. I know 33 is one of the most, like, he plays every hero kind of guy.
Yep.
He's that guy for OpTic. Oh. They're using all their time. Hey, if you have the time, use it. Yeah. I would. The last time when I had too much time on my hands, I just wanted to, that's a good song.
Okay.
Who sings that? I've got too much time on my hands. No, all right. It's an older song.
I need you to keep singing it.
All right. That's all I got. Kunkka.
Wow.
Wait, is it not CC's song? Am I a dumbass? Oh, no. Oh, no. I like it. They switch it up, right? Versus a team you're expected to beat. I think it's definitely good to do something like this.
This is the benefit of keeping your lineup so flexible with players that can actually...
The Doom, by the way.
Ooh, the hand.
The Doom does have the Immortal, the new Immortal, so we will get to see it in action.
That's why they picked it.
Baidu King himself. Yeah, these cores are obviously diverse cores, and they took advantage of that. That's what you're talking about there, Grant. This is... none of us saw that coming, and I guarantee you Team Baidu did not either. So
probably not. I think, how is Kunkka versus Lena? Sorry, last thing I want to say is that, how is it, like Kunkka still it does decently, right? You get easy denies, but you get harassed a lot.
You do get harassed a lot, but you can get a whole lot of denies with the Tidebringer denying your creeps. It's one of these heroes that actually, it's really hard to lane Kunkka because he sets up ganks.
Yeah.
Right. If you ever get X'd into any hero walking mid, you can very easily kill him. I don't think it's the greatest matchup in the world against Lena, but. You know, it's just, I think he's a solid hero overall.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. So,
Nice big fat HP pool too. So like the harass from Dragon Slave isn't as bad as it is against certain other heroes.
Yep.
So I guess me and Break are going. I really like Baidu King. I like them all as players, people, but I just got to go with OpTic. I think they are the better team, and it's going to be so hard.
I mean,
yeah, those odds. Also, you should go in offline mode.
Oh, okay, that's a good point.
That's a little extreme, man.
And
I mean, that's almost unfair to Baidu right there. Like their draft definitely has capabilities. They're running an Immortal to Doom, so they got that benefit going for them.
I think they will put up a bigger fight for sure than Leviathan.
Oh yeah, I'm very confident with that. If anything, the draft alone, definitely. I would still predict OpTic to win, but those odds definitely don't feel like they should be there. But
well, we'll keep you company during the pause at least, and then we'll get out of your way. Brax.
Hi, Grant.
How'd the camera work feel? Does it feel okay?
Nice and smooth.
And smooth. That's how we like
going to nowhere. But
we're going out of here.
We're practicing so we don't miss any kills.
The Peter classic admin.
Why are we paused, admin?
We've all been in lobbies with Peter and Kyle. Who do you think's more insufferable in the lobby?
PPD.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah. That's a toss-up.
I would.
That's a
I mean, both are definitely vocal and not afraid to give their opinions. But I just feel like throughout history, PPD's maybe been a little over the top sometimes. Like cases like this, for example. Right away, just admin like. They said that they're going to the restroom, clearly. I mean, I understand OpTic's playing 5 games in a row right here.
But he's joking, too.
Yeah, at the same time, he is too. You're not wrong there. Is he fully joking, though? It's part of that, like, yes, maybe he's playing it up a little bit, but...
It's kind of like there's truth in some lies, right? Yeah. When you're kind of making fun of something.
Yeah.
What are you looking for here?
I'm trying to make it... You know how when you, like, move to a different part of the map, you know how it like moves instantly instead of like slowly dragging? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
like
you don't
transition?
have it clicks somewhere. Does it? Yeah, there it's good.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I do.
I thought there was a setting to make it look better.
I mean, it looked fine to me.
I think you're doing a great job already.
Oh, you said you wanted to pan to it, or you want it?
He wants you. You want to.
You want to pan to it, or you?
Well, I have no clue. See you later, Brax.
Bye.
You'll do great, Brax. I know you will. MRP, take it away.
All right, hopping into this one, Brax. Thank you for joining me through this journey. And obviously, we're seeing, some of the fruits of this versatile lineup that PPD has at his disposal here with the last pick, Kunkka, flexing that in, 33 being, one of the more versatile 3 positions in Pro Dota right now. So definitely slated to be the favorites. Anything else you're expecting early on that's kind of unorthodox in these lanes?
I just want to see how these lane matches work out because it looks like OpTic, they want to play against this Warlock, right? Warlock, he plays the long game, the sustain game, but... with Undying and Witch Doctor in front of him, he could just die from full HP. And also, it's going to give Bloodseeker basically a free lane because there shouldn't be very much aggression coming out from him. I like this a lot.
And it looks like for now, they're going to be in this sort of tri-lane configuration from the Radiant side. But there is a Windlace up on the Sand King, so perhaps they could move him to that aggressive dual lane alongside the Doom. For now, it'll just be a little bit of jockeying for position around the bounty runes, but it looks like we'll be standard 2 apiece to each side. Zai does get a 2-man decay off, and we'll cop a little bit of harass. And as he makes it back to his lane, it's going to be blocked up by 33, who is postured aggressively on the Bloodseeker in the offlane, and Pycat, the solo Queen of Pain, up top.
So let's talk about these lanes real quick. We have Kunkka, Lina, mid. It looks like a strictly 1v1 matchup. Nobody can really come in and mess with anything for quite some time. Queen of Pain against Doom. Queen of Pain, obvious advantage in this lane. Ranger against melee with no armor. And this tri-lane, though. This is where all the action is.
Yeah.
Like, there's almost no kill potential from the side of Baidu. Like, they're just going to get decayed over and over.
Yeah. And there's, sustain to match theirs on the OpTic side as well with both Voodoo Restoration and potentially the Soul Rip to come out. We see Peter favor the Soul Rip a lot. We'll see if Zai goes that way or if opts for the Tombstone. He gets a 2-man decay off. He's going to keep himself up. They bait in Orange a little. He's going to have to salve in Vision, but gets right-clicked by Peter. And he's likely just going to create a little space for his squad here as he makes his way up to the north. But Thirst is already skilled for 33 as he held his skill point, and it'll give him the vision to bring down the first blood.
Very interesting that Bloodseeker actually has Thirst at level 1. But it makes sense, right? They're trading a lot of hits. Decay spams are going out. They're just clicking each other down while healing up. Pretty interesting.
Yeah. And off to a pretty good start is Baidu King up top against the Queen of Pain. You mentioned kind of the advantage that Pycat's going to have here, but a couple of CS in the first wave for the Doom. He did go for that early point in Devour as well. Speaking of unorthodox skill build, CCNC a little bit low mid lane, but does have the salve on his person, and is doing very well CS-wise against his counterpart, 7-2 to the 4-2.
Sorry, I'm just watching this bottom lane because it's there's always action here. Like, I don't think there's, look at that. There's so much damage coming out from the Undying. There's no way at all that Baidu can fight this. But how do they rotate away, right? Like, where does Sand go? Is he going to go mid? It's pretty unrealistic for him to actually be able to gank mid reliably, right? Without boosts, like even from the smoke, it's just not going to happen. And then if Sand goes top, they actually don't do anything to Queen of Pain too. So OpTic, I mean, I don't see how they break this lane configuration from OpTic at all.
Yeah, even if they have a value point in the X for CCNC, it does feel like CG with all that attack range can kind of keep him at bay or keep distance away. So it does seem very hard for Orange to kind of make an impact elsewhere. And right now, the bottom lane is bona fide disaster, I want to say, early on. Luna has managed to scrape by with 7 CS, but continually just be pressured forward here. 12 strength missing off this Luna, and not exactly the beefiest hero early on to begin with. They will get some efficiency value out of the Shadow Word, but she is just completely off the wave as 33 has a field day on top of the creeps.
It just looks like this is everything Luna hates in the lane phase, right? She can't touch creeps. She has lots of heroes leeching her experience, and there's just the threat of dying all the time. Bloodseeker is just running around with plus 22 damage thanks to the Thirst the entire lane phase because people are low. Like, mid lane's low because there's 1v1 matchups. Other heroes are low too.
Peter does get burrowed up, and they're attempting the body blocks here. He heads over to the left to try and avoid the Lucent Beam. And again, even if he dies here, it's going to be so much time spent off this lane. Already, we see 33 under the tower. Going to put a little bit of pressure there, and Peter going to maybe go for the neutral deny. He'll continue to kind of make space here.
There's no stun for a long time.
Yeah, the clarity's going to be popped. He's going to turn and cancel it. Peter, very well aware of the resources available to this Orange Sand King.
He even has a TP
around the rosy.
He's just wasting his time for as long as possible.
That is some cheeky plays from the Herald of NA. And yeah, Peter still, looking for the courier. They're going to pop the shield. And meanwhile, back in the lane, it's a Luna Warlock trying to stand tall up against this Bloodseeker Undying duo. And never going to be easy. Zai with 12 strength in his pocket is going to continue to press forward, but looks like they're just content to keep dominating this lane. 14 denies on the Bloodseeker thus far, and Peter still wasting the time of the Sand King, who does have the burrow, doesn't want to use it just yet until he's in kill range, and will now.
You know, that's pretty smart of Peter. Like, a lot of players would TP back to base, because he could live there if he wanted to, but if he TPs back to base, that means he can't TP back to lane, and he doesn't mind giving that Sand King that kill, because that's more time that Luna's just alone against these two heroes. And now, look at this, he's just back.
They go for the kill on Luna with the Blood Rage, so almost getting there, but the Shadow Word going to keep him in fighting shape for now, BTY. Still, though, level 3 on this Luna 5 minutes in is rather large concern. If they rotate out of any of these other lanes with the Queen of Pain or the Kunkka, feels like she's a pretty easy kill. Speaking of the other lanes, CCNC with an Arcane Rune mid, holding his own in this mid lane. He's actually overtaken the Lina as far as CS goes. Doing very well. And the Queen of Pain for Pycat, similarly so, is trading well up against the Doom.
Yep, so the one big window Baidu are going to have is that Doom's going to hit 6, right? And once Doom's 6, they do have kill potential on the Queen of Pain. But, all right, Orange is smoked up mid, but he's level 2 Sand King against the full HP Kunkka.
The Luna bottom in trouble as well. The cask flies out. Bloodright is there. She's getting real low. 33 finishes off the Luna. And now the Warlock, as you mentioned, just passively walking away. And the gank attempt on mid has not yet been initiated. And CCNC, he throws out the Torrent for vision. Doesn't catch anyone on the south side of the cliff, and now in a little bit of trouble, but 1,000 HP to this Kunkka is going to be a difficult kill. They'll use the Laguna Blade. He throws out the boat, gets the ROM applied. He's still alive.
He's got 1 HP.
And makes it back to base. Disaster in the early game for Baidu King squad as OpTic going to grab a kill and save their mid laner as well.
I can't believe he lived. Like, they're so desperate to make a play, and they get so close, but it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, super unfortunate turn of events for them there. And the Luna being out of lane, coming back now still. Level 3.5, the Undying level 4. 33 looking to eclipse that level 5 mark. And up top, movement from Orange and from PPD. Baidu King's already forced to use the Scorched Earth here. It is level 6 Pycat, but they're not going to look to progress too far forward. Yeah, 33. Looking for the kill and gets it. And the Warlock, again, just has no turn potential on this duo. And they've been able to send Peter up top and secure Pycat as he's kind of shadowed the movements of Orange for the last little bit on the Witch Doctor. Very secure in the fact that 2v2 bottom lane, they're going to do well.
Yep, the only way Queen of Pain dies up here is if she's solo. So Witch Doctor, noticing that, you know, this is the only actual play they can make. This is also the play they want to make because it's the easiest one they can do, but he just blocks it entirely. Bloodseeker's completely independent now, and he can just dominate this bottom lane almost alone.
Yeah, he's going to throw out a Blood Right. It'll connect onto the Warlock. It'll put a few right clicks in, but as Luna shows her face, he'll keep himself safe. Salving up in the mid lane, CCNC throws out the Torrent. He is going to connect onto Orange. It is only a level 1 Torrent, however, so not too much damage. And the double damage will expire. But for now, as you mentioned, you know, that big kind of early timing where they can at least get a little bit out of this early game is that Doom level 6. And, you know, with the movements of PPD up to the top lane, they've been yet to put it to work.
Yep, and I feel like it's only a matter of time before Queen of Pain wants to make a rotation down to bottom lane. Like maybe when Bloodseeker gets level 6, that's when things get really dangerous for Baidu. Because eventually you expect this hero to move, right? There's going to be some point where you just don't want to stand in front of this Doom that can cast a Doom.
He looked like he queued it up there for a moment, just fake casting on PPD. And Baidu King would look to drag the wave back, as he's been doing. Mid lane, TP's in from the Zai Undying as Orange looks to make an aggressive move. Oh, the Soul Rip and Decay almost puts him into fatal range there. He'll salve up to avoid giving 33 too much strength and make it back to safety. But all things considered, early game going really well. 2K net worth lead amassed here at about 9 minutes. And the CS perhaps even more concerning overall with the Luna sitting at 26 here, 9 minutes in.
Yep, and this is going to be a growing problem for the side of Baidu because it just gets worse and worse when the ultimates come out on the side of OpTic, right? Like, I like the Kunkka with the Bloodseeker. You have, like, the Blood Rage Cleave combo. A lot of potential there. And it's also a hero that's always constantly harassing the hero in front of him, so you're going to guarantee you have some damage from Thirst to work with.
33 looking at a Blade Mail queued up for the time being, kind of answer maybe the one desperate play they have with the Luna Eclipse once that comes out. But so far, Luna still sitting on level 4. Pycat just AFK for the first 9.5 minutes up top. And does have the null tally, should have his next item pretty soon. Cast gonna fly out. Baidu King will get hit a couple of times. The third time it'll fly through. He'll be forced to pop Scorched Earth, but they're not gonna overcommit for this one as PPD yet to eclipse that all-important level 6 milestone. Zai stalking the Luna at least. Kind of creepy, just at least soaking some experience here. But OpTic seem pretty content to just let their cores farm away. Mid lane though, Orange in trouble. X into the boat, and no target for the Tidebringer there for CCNC. And he's unable to finish it off, but he will force the TP out from the Sand King, and he'll find himself conveniently an Arcane Rune on the bottom side of the map.
Yep, unfortunately couldn't find a target to use Tidebringer on, but everything is fine, right? Everything is going fantastic for OpTic. The one thing that Baidu have to play around is Doom. Doom is extremely farmed.
Second overall in the game, just behind the 33 Bloodseeker, who's had a fantastic time, kills and CS-wise. And they may even get some structures here 10.5 minutes in. Looks like this tier 1 going to be conceded by Baidu King's side. And they do have a smoke on the Sand King. Looks like they're going to convene. And this is the combination that you were talking about in the draft, Brax, is that SK Lina. And we'll see if they can find an all-important core kill top lane. But it looks like Pycat's already vacated this area, and they're only looking at PPD.
Yep, this is terrible. They definitely wanted to be able to catch Pycat, but you're at the stage of the game where you'll take anything you can get, right? They need to make something happen.
And Peter does get burrowed through the trees. LSA will be there, and they will net this kill on the Witch. Oh, he sticks up, gets the cask off.
Oh, no.
For now, he's still surviving. And tier 2 being pressured. He salves up. Voodoo Restoration is there as well. And Peter has been an astronaut this game. Just surrounded in the space that he's
True
created.
spaceman.
They will get the tier 1, so all is not lost. Their rotation is not for nothing here. But again, they're losing tier 2 bottom, continuing to be juked out here. They will end up finally bringing down that Witch Doctor. But CCNC and 33, they're more than happy to trade their loyal captain for this tier 2 bottom.
They spent so much time chasing him that they just took the tier 2 from full HP. That's ridiculous.
Laguna will fly out mid and kill off Zai. CG does look to kind of equate the net worth of PyCat with that kill. And it looks like they'll fend off the pressure from their mid tower, but already losing both outer tier towers, bottom lane. Definitely feels like OpTic can look to just occupy this southern part of the map.
Man, they must feel so pressured because, like, half the map is not safe, right? They can't enter their jungle at all. They know mid lane's going to be the next target for OpTic's movements just because of how much control they have over the jungle with these deep wards coming out. And they're just not ready to fight. Like, Warlock's level, he's about to hit 5. Sand King's level 4 with just Tranquil Boots. Luna doesn't want to see a hero. I mean, look at her skill build. She has 1 Lucent Beam, max Moonglaves in full farm mode. Nobody could fight at all.
And now Doom does fly out onto CCNC. LSA will actually connect onto 2. Inferno Blade is there. Cask going to keep Baidu King back. And the Death Ward doing some work as well. CCNC does end up dropping. They'll get the return kill on the Doom. Upheaval from the west side is going to be canceled here. Or at least he'll be aggressed on. And they get the kill on the Warlock. And the Scream finds a kill to the south side on the Lina as well.
Oh man, it just gets worse and worse. Lina killed herself on the Blade Mill in that fight trying to finish off Bloodseeker. Like, I don't know. It just gets worse and worse.
It just makes himself look like a juicy target with that Blood Rage. And pops that Blade Mail at the last second. As you mentioned, they don't even have the power of the Eclipse as Luna has entirely retreated to, what is, the safest area perhaps on the map is this kind of quadrant. And she's going to be trying to farm away and claw her way back in and has kind of, tied up with the net worth of her teammates, but still, OpTic are applying tons of pressure. They are going to take that mid lane tier 1. So the triangle of towers they've taken in the bottom side of the map is going to afford them a lot of map control. Really, all they need is this tier 1 in the off lane to have full control of this Roche area as well.
Yep, but Baidu are doing some good things. Warlock solo smokes out to place an Observer Ward on top of OpTic's Shrine. And once he's level 6, maybe they can fight. Like, it'll certainly be better than the last fight.
He is being pursued here. 33 with the Rupture at the ready. We'll make it behind the tower. Rupture is there. Nice ward placement as well. He's going to look for the TP out. Cask will put a stop to that. And the Warlock is going to drop monster kill streak for 33. 8-0-2 on the Bloodseeker. And from moment 1, he's had a field day in this one.
Yep, just completely unstoppable.
And there it is, right for the tier 1.
At least they have some tools that can potentially deal with Bloodseeker, right? Like, he can get Doom, so he can't get Blade Mail or Rupture off. No matter what items he gets, they'll always have the Doom. Of course, that's assuming he can actually cast Doom on Bloodseeker.
Assuming he's running at a relatively normal movement speed.
Yeah.
And smoke up. 4 members of OpTic as 33 continues to push the lane in. They'll TP down. CCNC's looking to catch a straggler bottom lane, and they won't give an inch to this Baidu King squad, who are looking to at least take a tier 1 here in the bottom lane.
This is pretty interesting from OpTic. They move so many heroes bottom when there's no clear objective, but it's just so they can push back Baidu King, or target Baidu, from being able to farm that position on the map. Like, look at their wards, right? They have all the wards from OpTic are on the side of Baidu's jungle. They're just trying to prevent them from farming any sort of safe farm on their map. So yeah, they're just trying to keep up the pressure over and over because they do know Luna's farming, right? They haven't seen Luna for quite some time.
Yeah, Lina working on the Yules and isn't too far off that, about 500 gold away as well. So they can kind of look to set up, have a little bit of a tool up against the Bloodseeker defensively as well. And it looks like they will smoke here. Baidu King drums ready, and they do have the Tranquils for the extra MS on the SK. So pretty good range of initiation with these 3 heroes.
I'm pretty sure this smoke was scouted. They had an Observer Ward up by the Ancients.
True. And it looks like OpTic playing pretty safe, showing only PPD in the lane, so it must be the case.
He's the spaceman, as you said. They don't want him. They want something bigger.
Yeah, he's been doing an excellent job tanking the ganks and wasting the time of the enemy thus far. But the Luna's recovered decently. She's got the Mask of Madness, Blade of Alacrity on top of the treads, Aquila.
That's true.
And looking to nip at the heels of Pycat, who, you know, not the greatest farming hero and hasn't been doing too much fighting on the Queen of Pain as much as you'd expect. 1-0-3, still not an entirely docile stat line, but up on the high ground, the Warlock going to scout out the movement of OpTic. Now the drum's going to be popped, though. And Zai going to hold the Tombstone for now, but the X is there from CCNC, and he'll actually whiff the combo, unfortunately. But with the Blood Rage, they may just be able to kill him off regardless. Needs one more right click. CCNC didn't have the phase boots ready. And he's going to get chat wheeled for it. Meanwhile, though, on the east side, Luna being pursued. Bloodright going to give them the vision. Decay will be there to go for the TP out. Pycat, nothing to cancel it. And a heads-up play. Going to get the Luna to safety. Now CCNC yules into the LSA and the Laguna Blade. Infernal Blade will be there to finish the job. And just a little bit of, I guess, you know, miscoordination from OpTic as they made the move east. CCNC didn't vacate that mid lane quickly enough, and he's punished for it.
Yep, and Baidu capitalizing with the yules picked up on Lina. They managed to get the catch. You know, this game's not that bad, honestly. Like, Baidu have stabilized. The early game was atrocious, but now that the lane phase has been broken down, Luna's still farming, Leon's getting her farm, Doom has been farmed the entire game, and he's still pretty decently farmed. Like, he's about to pick up a Shadow Blade pretty soon. This game is not impossible at all for Baidu. Like, they have the tools to fight, too. Warlock almost has boots. Well, not really, but he'll get there after one team fight if he stays alive.
Yeah, no doubt you wanted to see OpTic kind of chasing further and snowballing in this one for kills. And on paper, certainly the team fight looks better for the Radiant. And rather fortunate for them for that the one core who was farmed in the early game is the one who's bad at farming in general. So the Lina and the Luna, easy for them to kind of recover with the nukes and the Moonglaves, and Doom being farmed from early on. I definitely agree with you that, you know, we haven't yet to see a Rock and an Eclipse here, so they can fight. 33 going to go for the Rupture on the Doom. He's going to pop the Scorch Earth and back simultaneously. Meanwhile, on the north side, Pycat looking to work on the Warlock with the Decay there. Looks like they should get this Warlock. Torrent does not connect. Cask will, but it's not enough. Oh, it does finish him off there. Pycat's Shadow Strike damage over time will get the kill. No wave inbound, though, on this tier 2, so it looks like just a kill for the sake of the kill for now, but Ward Vision to the north side is going to scout the Luna. She's going to go for the TP out once again, and Peter not in range to cancel it.
There's a severe lack of TP canceling on the side of OpTic. You have Cask and X. And these heroes that can actually get in range to find Luna, they can't do it, and she's still farming. Like, she hasn't died in a long time.
Working on the Shadow Blade is CCNC, so perhaps that'll solve some of those problems, but he's still a little ways away from that. 1,200 gold. CCNC, though, pops the drums. Phase boots ready as well. Luna just so fast as a hero in general, though, and unable to connect. Meanwhile, X is going to find the Sand King, but he burrows, and he will pull him back into the boat. He's silenced up as well. Doom is going to be there onto the Bloodseeker, but he got the BKB off in time and still looking to chase down Baidu King. CG scattering to the north as well on the Lina, and trying to dodge around is the Bloodseeker, but he gets caught with the burrow. Laguna Blade will finish him. Epi is going to continue to push back OpTic, and there's no counterplay elsewhere on the map as Pycat was just hitting neutrals. And so a nice kill going to be found here for the Radiant, and definite signs of life for them in the last 5 minutes or so.
That single kill was a 1,500 gold swing. Like, being able to fight and take team fights when you're down this much gold is so meaningful. Like, now Luna actually has space to keep on farming and get to a BKB. Like, when she has BKB, she can just stand her ground if she gets ruptured, or even just BKB TP. Like, it's not that big of a threat because there's not that much physical damage on top of it. And this doesn't look that bad for Baidu. And as you said, Shadow Blade on Doom, they've got some catch too. Warlock, I think he just picked up his boots. He did. He's a happy man. Things are looking up.
Maybe the one silver lining for OpTic here is that they know Baidu is rather cooldown dependent, and they did use Doom, Eclipse, and the Rock in that fight. So perhaps a small window for them to make a move either into the pit or to look for a fight. Warlock doing a little bit of dewarding. Cask will fly, connects onto both heroes. Tombstone is there as well as the Blood, and it looks like they'll only concede the Warlock, not willing to fight here as the aforementioned cooldowns off the table. But this will likely mean Roshan for OpTic.
Yep, Rosh is a pretty big deal, but you kind of have to expect it, right, when you're playing with such a large cooldown-dependent lineup. Like, once Rock is down, you have no hopes of fighting. Same thing with Eclipse, and Aegis is just something they're going to have to deal with. Ideally, Luna would like to have a BKB before they start knocking on the high ground, but this first Aegis, I don't think it's enough for OpTic to actually go high ground. Like, this is usually the Aegis where you take the outer towers, and then the next one is where you try to approach high ground, and by then, Luna's definitely going to have BKB. Like, this Luna has played extremely well, just dodging everything, ignoring everything, going for the right skill build to try to catch back up into the game. So I like their chances in this game. I mean, it was a 5,000 gold lead at like 9 minutes. Now it's at 4,000 at 22. Getting much better.
Definitely admirable. So thus far, pretty impressive from Baidu. PyCat, though, speaking of admirals, has done a really good job keeping up in farm alongside the Luna. He hasn't been able to kind of enter too many fights. He's been involved in 6 of the 13 kills. So about half of what his team's been able to net as far as casualties go. And does have the Lincolns and sitting atop the net worth alongside 33. So still kind of keeping up, but we've yet to see his net worth really bear fruit in a fight just yet.
I'm curious to see how CCNC is going to transition this game. Like, he's 0-2 and 0, not the greatest score. But, you know, how much farm priority is he going to get on his Kunkka this game? Because there are a lot of things that can actually catch him, like the Doom's looking for him. They see the X, but... Oh, they're paying it out.
Yeah. LSA is there. Perfectly timed from CG. Infernal Blade is there as well, but CCNC's pretty tanky. One more right click. It actually does finish the job. Instant TP out from the Doom. Again, the lack of TP cancel rearing its ugly head, but they do get the Lina with the Blood Rage. So the return kill is there. And the two heroes worth about the same. But it is a little bit of time that delays OpTic from pushing with the Aegis in their hands.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. A 1-for-1 with so many forced TPs when you're already down in the game is exactly what you want.
Warlock in a little bit of trouble, placing down a sentry. Is going to pop up the heal, but likely to take a spill here as PyCat gets his second scream off. Well, won't need it. Again, though, dragging OpTic around the map, continuing to farm on the cores. Looks like they'll be okay. You know, not elated, but okay with the last few kind of happenstances. And now Orange going to find Peter warding deep. Infernal Blade is there as well. And again, Peter looking to create some space, but this time the Luna will join them and they'll ping out the cliff as well, knowing that there's really few other reasons that the Witch Doctor would be that deep behind enemy lines.
Yep. I'm actually very worried for OpTic. Like, they had a large lead and they haven't been able to keep up the pressure. Right? Like, yep, PyCat is farmed. 33 is very farmed. But Luna's starting to accelerate, and now she has BKB. When she gets that next item, like the Butterfly, or maybe I have Scotty, something to tank up through the damage so she doesn't die right away, I'm a Baidu fan.
Orange jumps forward, finds the dust on CCNC. Doom is there as well. Zai looks to try and turn it, but without the Kunkka's boat, they're really just not all that tanky. They're going to work on the Tombstone now. And meanwhile, on the north side, the Lina kind of enters the fight a little bit too early. She's going to catch a Sonic Wave for it. The Rock's going to be a little bit late to save her. But it looks like overall, Baidu should have a good fight out of this one. Peter on the east side is going to try and take out the Warlock with the Maledict and the Death Ward. 33 should be able to finish the job here. But overall, 2 for 2. And now Burrow onto the Blood Rage 33. He gets the BKB off, pops the Rupture, looking to fight into the SK, and he should get this kill as well with PyCat rejoining the fray. So OpTic do a good job to turn this one in the end. Baidu King just TPs out, and he will be successful. He'll take out the Warlock Golem and likely net this tier 2 as well. And if it weren't for CG kind of initiated brazenly there, that looks real good for Baidu.
Yeah, I thought it could have been slightly better, but Luna, the way she played that fight, you can tell she doesn't really want to fight, right? Like at the end, she maybe could have fought with the Doom at the end, but just runs right away, goes right back to pushing out these lanes, but CCNC going to scout her out.
The early death on the Kunkka allows him to get down to the lane, but BKB charge going to be used. It is the 10-second one, so rather unfortunate for the Luna, but certainly worth surviving and getting a little information for the team.
Yeah, like CCNC is not really keeping up in terms of farm and team fights. He is dying. It is Kunkka though, so you still have a lot of utility. You have the catch with the X, of course, and the team fight capabilities with the boat. And Warlock's dead.
It's like you said though, Brax. I mean, they have few answers for this Luna now that her BKB is up. And it looks like maybe knowing that the BKB was used in that bottom lane, that they have that 70 or so second window, that OpTic really trying to force something, but only able to get a Warlock out of it. And like you mentioned earlier, just not too many objectives, easy objectives at least, left on the map for OpTic. So they'll look at that last low-hanging fruit in the mid-tier 2, but it only gets harder from there.
Yep, it's very true. I like the itemization coming out from PyCat. He has the, he's gone for more of a carry style build, right? Usually we see Gluten Pains with like Orchids, sometimes you have Yules, Veil, but playing primarily as a right clicker and then transitioning into a Hex, you actually have some way to deal with this Luna. You can blink Hex and then take the fight that way. It looks pretty good. And I think it's going to be something that's unexpected, right? Luna's not going to be thinking that she needs a Lincoln Sphere. Actually, she has Lincoln Sphere in her quick buy, but it's going to probably come after the Manta. But I don't know, this game it's so odd because OpTic had such a hold over this game, but they could never find Luna. They never addressed this Luna problem, just farming the jungle the entire game.
Yeah. I think you put it perfectly earlier on. They really just did a great job of stabilizing through the first 15 minutes in the game. The lead for OpTic never exceeded 6K as far as net worth goes, so they just did a really good job of kind of identifying their weaknesses and creating some space. Cask is going to fly out onto the Sand King, but they get the Doom after the burrow down onto the Bloodseeker, and 33 going to die. He's going to immediately buy back and look to take this fight. Peter going to find himself a little bit of a nook in the corner, but he's not going to survive for much longer. CCNC gets burrowed up. Now the X going to bring back Zai, or bring back the Doom, excuse me, in front of Zai. But Baidu once again with the heads up TP out. And the counter to OpTic this game seems to be that TP scroll.
They just all lived, and OpTic Gaming used 2 buybacks. Jesus.
This is a rather concerning window.
If OpTic know that B2I doesn't have a TP available, they could actually like start threatening the map even more. Like Luna is in the enemy jungle just farming with her TP on cooldown for 50 seconds. But of course, OpTic, they don't know that, right? But if they had some information, like maybe she walks by a ward or something, they could potentially threaten high ground.
Perhaps anticipating the return of Roche here. Minimum respawn would be a minute from now, but still, those buybacks seem rather pointless for OpTic here. Got a scan available. PyCat goes for the Scream and actually catches a glimpse of the Luna. Ooh. She will hide herself in the trees momentarily. Has the BKB available. 20 seconds. They use the scan, and it's going to be flying wayward of the Luna. So for now, she will be safe in the trees.
God, if you give this game another, 10, 15 minutes, Luna is going to be the net worth leader here. I guess, Roshan is going to be the next big objective for OpTic Gaming. They've taken all the outer towers. They can't really approach the high ground without the help of the Aegis. But there's a chance that Baidu might be strong enough to actually contest them in the Roshan pit. It is Warlock in the Roshan pit with Sand King and Luna, right? You have a ton of AoE damage. And
that's they have incredible team fight around the Roche pit.
Yeah, and that's even on top of Fatal Bonds, so that could be quite disastrous.
Peter looks to make an aggressive move at the Warlock as he executes his dewarding mission. And again, him and CCNC unable to close the gap and find an initiation, unfortunately for them. But we'll look to perhaps secure these 30-minute bounty runes at least. Luna is back towards her base with her squad.
Oh, MRP. This game is...
yeah, this Kunkka pick maybe just a bit unforgiving for OpTic in that last slot. Like you said, they're just very kind of reliant on taking that early advantage and snowballing. And just a little bit of good decision-making, a few headsy TP outs, and all of a sudden Baidu really in a, not commanding position, but have a good foothold in this game for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not commanding, but it's also like they have a good chance. They're not out of this game at all. It seemed bad in the beginning, but they bounced right back. It is a 7K goal lead at 31 minutes, but at 31 minutes, that's not very significant, to be honest, especially when you're playing with lineups that have such big team fight capabilities. At this stage of the game, it's all just about who gets to jump first, and one team has Blink Sand King, the other team has Cask and X, right? It's very telegraphed, it's very slow, it's not that instant initiation.
Yeah, they had, the Kunkka combo to some point, but now with the Luna BKB, it's going to be very difficult. They got Crimson Guard as well on Baidu King's Doom, so a lot of damage mitigation for his side. Of course, the Cleave is going to kind of ignore that to some extent, but in the mid lane. Zai looking to set up his smoke pops. They get the X off onto the Sand King. He gets a double burrow off, and they get the Doom onto the BS as well. He will pop the BKBs. Meanwhile, Sand King going down in the backline. It's a Sonic Wave, though, from PyCat through 3. They get 2 down. Instant double buyback from Baidu. They're going to look to continue this fight. Running around the Bloodseeker. Gets soul ripped up from Zai. He still survives, but now does end up going down. And Epicenter being channeled over on the east is going to find CC&C. They will get the 2 main cores down of OpTic. PyCat, though, still fighting strong, has the AoE Shadow Strike, and can continue to press forward. Orange in a little bit of trouble. There is a sentry here, and PyCat blinking to the north, doing the right clicks with the Mjolnir, is going to look to finally give OpTic the advantage they need. Baidu, recall, spending 2 buybacks here, really committing into this fight, and they weren't able to join the fray again quickly enough. Scream gonna find the Doom through Invis. 4 heroes down for Baidu, and can't really take Roche. Not really healthy enough to look to push high ground just yet, as the Lena's up in 8 seconds, but a big kind of sigh of relief for OpTic in that team fight, garnering 2 buybacks.
Yeah, and this is going to line up perfectly for them because now Warlock Ultimate's on cooldown, Eclipse is also on cooldown. They pretty much just operate off these short cooldown abilities, longest one being Sonic Wave, but they don't actually really need it to fight. So Roshan is theirs whenever they want it, basically.
And a big jump towards the Hex for PyCat. So, you know, we're talking about the effectiveness of this BKB, and it's actually just fully completed up here at the side shop. If he can blink and get the Hex off onto Luna, or even Lena for that matter, in these fights, could spell disaster for the Radiant side.
Yep, you know, that team fight, it looked like it was going to go a bit better for Baidu, but it's so weird to watch this Bloodseeker. Like, he gets doomed, he doesn't get his abilities off, but it doesn't even matter, because he's still running around the fight at like 800 move speed and a ton of damage.
The old Doom that used to break passives.
Yep.
What they would do for that now. Yeah. Sai gonna walk up to the high ground, catch a Lucid Beam. He's gonna be Yule's up as well. LSA is on cooldown though, so he'll be just fine, and they'll throw the boat out as well. Meanwhile, blinking into the pit is the SK, and yeah, he does end up snagging that cheese.
Okay, so that's not the worst thing in the world. Nothing big committed at all, and Orange on the Sand King manages to snag the cheese. Not too shabby.
But as he indicates with the chat wheel, he's gonna have to take a short nap here for the next 25 seconds or so.
He'll be back soon.
In hand. And yeah, it looks like they're able to clean up the wave mid as well for the Radiant side. Luna is pressuring the tier 2 top. We'll throw out the Manta Illusions and look to TP away. Zai, of course, as we've seen many times, unable to cancel. Well, he does actually have a Yule's these days, but Luna does have the Lincolns queued up, so still going to be kind of difficult. In any case, she'll bring down the tier 2 rather low, and OpTic will secure pretty much only the Aegis off of the back of that one team fight in mid.
Yep. Now this is the big hurdle for Baidu, right? If they can actually manage to survive this threat of the Aegis from OpTic Gaming, then this game goes on a bit longer. But there's a good chance that OpTic they're going to try to look for that next team fight with the Hex on Queen of Pain, right? They're going to try to jump some key hero, get a pick off, and approach the high ground. But if they can somehow not die and dodge long enough, then perhaps they have a good chance of coming back. But
just look at this litany of sentries, Brax. The entire Radiant side of the map is covered in sentries right now. The Dire, despite having Aegis, actually don't have that great vision. And that's continuing to try the warding mission, the Warlock does end up perishing. But in any case, it looks like they are pretty well set up to kind of at least survive. Meanwhile, Baidu, though, looking to do more than that. Top lane, they finally get the Doom on from Invis. No BKB pop by 33. They'll take him out. Bolt will connect from CC&C, but actually kind of puts him in harm's way. They don't have detection on person, though, and CC&C will make it away. But 33's death is going to set back the timer for this Aegis push quite a bit. Orange already down bottom lane, looking to kind of deal with the lanes, and top lane as a unit. Baidu pushing out.
Yeah, that death is critical for Baidu. It's not only a 60-second death timer, right? That's that long that they can comfortably push out these lanes together as a team where they aren't scared of getting jumped. So it's going to buy them like probably 2 minutes just with how far they can get these lanes out. So yeah, good stuff.
BKB queued up for the Doom as well. That'll be the entire Tricore with BKBs available once he can complete that. And he's only about 400 gold away. No other real big items to speak of. Lina will be at that level 20 mark pretty soon, so a nice talent to pick up for her there. X mid lane is going to catch the Warlock. The Tidebringer is there as well. Maledict, and they jumped over on the south side. Pycat with the Hex goes right in onto the Lina and finishes her off with a double damage rune. BKB popped up by Pycat. They know the Doom is off the table here, even without 33, making the move into the base. Zai in trouble is going to be earned up here, sticking around in the base. Pycat looking to press forward. Lincoln's is going to get popped. Now BKB bomb from the Luna, and she pops the cheese given to her by the Sand King. Going to take out the Aegis and the Witch Doctor. Pycat
so many buybacks
into a world of hurt here. Will be able to blink out just before the LSA. Lina going to buy back as well as the Warlock. He still has a rock, remember here. Looking to queue it up, but the Bloodseeker with the BKB and Blade Mail popped is able to take out the Sand King. No buyback available for the Sand King. There is Ward Vision in the base as well, as we saw Pycat use it earlier to take out the Lina. And it's just one big kill away. Doom, no buyback. Sand King, no buyback. Warlock and Lina, all no buyback. Luna is 200 gold short of hers. If Pycat can find a similar opening that he did there, that could be the window for OpTic to break base.
Look at how many buybacks were just used from the side of OpTic Gaming. None of them have buyback at all. Like, they're so heavily committed to being able to push. They did win the team fight, which was crucial, right? But without Aegis, you can't comfortably approach this high ground anymore. Now it's just a game of cat and mouse between, you know, these two teams if they can actually find the initiation first.
Scan from the Radiant is going to net a couple of heroes at least on OpTic side, but no real vision in the area for the Radiant, so difficult for them to make that move out. They're just kind of prodding to see if they can push lanes elsewhere, and they'll use the Manta Illusions mid to kind of try and shove this out. Luna does forego the buyback to complete up her Lincolns as well. She would have been one of the only heroes in the game alongside CNC with it, but opts to complete the Lincolns and looking to push out mid now.
Yep, they're looking to see what they can find. Luna is ready to fight. The one thing they have against Luna is the Blink Scream of Pain, because it does fear for a second and a half. They can use that so Luna can't get her BKB off and then try to jump her that way. But, yeah, I mean, outside of that, you can't Blink Hex this hero anymore. There's no instant initiation. It's getting difficult.
Pycat level 25. First in the game to reach that milestone. It's going to be closely pursued by the Luna and the Doom.
Okay, OpTic smoke up, but it is under the ward of Baidu, so they know they're hovering around the mid lane, perhaps looking for a potential catch.
And Orange just feels completely safe to push in this top lane for the moment. We'll blink into the trees and make it back as he knows that the base push might be impending, seeing the smoke location. Zai gonna walk up to the high ground and just place down that tombstone. They don't have great building hitters. Pycat probably the best one for them. BKB gonna be popped though by Luna just to take out the tombstone. And OpTic, yeah, just gonna kind of kite this out. No tombstone available for them, but they do have the tombstone on death for the Undying.
All right, OpTic playing this very, very patiently. Luna does have no BKB currently, but, you know, they still are respecting the high ground. They know that if they walk up to this hill and die, and Luna lives, like, it's game losing, right? If Luna has buyback and they commit that hard for her, they're going to lose this game.
Even with a tier 1 standing in mid lane, you never want to lose without buyback to a Luna. And looking to work on the data list is CC&C. Of course, his buyback is one of the only ones for OpTic available, so he may look to keep or hang on to some of that gold he's got.
Oh man, this game is so tense from both sides, you know. Like,
just an incredible performance from Baidu, considering how bad the lanes went for them.
Yeah.
I mean, Luna was level 3, I want to say, at 7 or 8 minutes, and they have really stymied the bleeding.
Then we just didn't see Luna for a good 20 minutes, and she came out with some items.
.33 and CC&C been hanging around. We did see the AC get completed up by 33, so they're not the greatest building siegers. That'll help a little bit in that, right? It'll also help CC&C with the Tidebringer. It does have the, again, I had enough gold to purchase the data list, but for now, gonna keep buyback.
Yep.
They lose the tier 2 top finally here, 41 minutes in, do the Dire side. And again, Tombstone up to the high ground. They'll probably have PyCat throw a few right clicks. Again, BKB, they're going to be popped by BTY just to take out the Tombstone. Do they look to initiate on this now? Zai going to be soul ripped up, and Lincoln's spell block buff going to be popped on him as well. Wave clear for now seems to be sufficient for the Radiant side. And so far, the BKB for the Tombstone trade has seemed to work out for them.
It's pretty interesting to think that a BKB is worth killing the Tombstone, right? Like, that's enough to make OpTic want to back up. Like, Luna's BKB is at a 5-second duration now. This is as low as it gets. But they still just, they can't approach the high ground, really. That's as good as it gets. They don't have any hero that's designed to hit the buildings, right? Like, that's Queen of Pain if she has one more item or something.
And it's like you said earlier, right? They just don't really have great and quick disable. So an X or a Cask is not quick enough to help the Queen of Pain for the blink in and the Hex with the Lincoln's available for the Luna. So just very hard for her to initiate on them. Yeah. Scan going to find an illusion. It is CC&C's. But they won't fall for it on the Radiant side as they push out to the river.
You know, the longer this game does go on, though, it is basically Luna versus the world, right? Only Luna is really accelerating in terms of farm on Baidu. Doomy, it's a creep every now and then, but Lena's not really farming, right? Same items for the last, I don't know, 10 minutes almost.
Yeah.
So that is a growing problem, but, you know, it's hard to think that you want to play in the ultra late game with this combination of heroes. Like Kunkka obviously is very good in late game, right? When you get those crits going and you get that cleave, you can start one-shotting some of these heroes. Bloodseeker, you don't typically think of him as the greatest late game hero. Queen of Pain, same thing, but I mean, they can hang with these heroes as long as they have the right levels of farm.
Yeah, and to your point early on, 33 kind of went for this more carry-oriented build on the Bloodseeker. They did go for the right-click build on PyCat as well, so they can kind of hang in this late game. And like you mentioned, maybe some recognition of the fact that, you know, the Lina and the Doom aren't necessarily the biggest threats considering their positions in the game. But Luna is definitely the type of hero that can kind of 1v5 with the right squad around her.
Yep. You got the bounces into Fatal Bonds. You have so many things. That's, of course, assuming Warlock stays alive longer than 2 seconds in these team fights, but you know, you gotta hope.
Daedalus is complete for CC&C, so he's pretty safe to X himself and just clean the waves up.
And so begins the Roshan dance.
Yeah, the closer we get to TI. Well, Burrow Strike, before that thought, is going to find Zai. Cask going to fly out. Sentry is down onto Baidu King, but they don't fully commit in. Tombstone, Soul Rip will be there. They'll throw the Rupture out as well. And now Baidu King going to turn, but the BKB already there for the Bloodseeker. He's just trying to get it off before he dies. Luna, though, trying to work on the backlines, but PyCat has popped BKB. And the Eclipse not doing all that much with Zai back in the fight. Sonic Wave finishes off the Luna on the high ground. They find the Warlock as well. PyCat will finish him off. Double kill for the Queen of Pain. X is going to find CG. He'll go for the Yules. Does have the BKB available as well, but maybe just wants to save it. Well, I'm not sure what he's saving it for. He's got no buyback. He's down 90 seconds. 4 heroes down with no buyback. And OpTic, just like that, throw their Undying at the high ground and find the opening. Baidu just really not prepared, and they instantly make the call to go for the tier 4s. Baidu, after showing so much resolve in this one, Brax, in an instant, are going to throw it all away.
Yeah, that's kind of how these games work, right? When you have a one hero super farmed, you lose one fight and the game just ends instantly, right? Luna was playing with no buyback because she knows she can't afford to hang on to 3,000 gold. And, yep, fight just doesn't go their way. It was in an awkward area where they didn't get the right kind of jump. So, yep, OpTic, they take it. I sound a little disappointed because it just ends that abruptly.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys caught the end of that, but...
Yeah, what's up?
How are you guys doing?
Good. I think that game was OpTic is clearly a better team, but Team Baidu King is a decent team, and it felt more like OpTic should have definitely won that game a lot quicker. It felt they had some weird... I mean, they first drafted Bloodseeker, what you say now, Breaky, 4 times? Or 3
times? 3 of the 4 times. The only one wasn't against Leviathan yet.
Are they just doing this against, like, maybe the weaker teams? Well, they did it versus VGJ.
Yeah,
I actually
VGJ
don't
Storm,
know what's going on with them, but I'm excited to see Baidu play some of the other, like, Cold and Immortals, right? Like, because I think OpTic, VGJ, EG are the best teams, and they put up a good fight.
They did, for sure.
Isn't OpTic EG next, by the way?
OpTic EG, I believe, is next. That's some...
There we go.
I'm literally shaking right now from excitement, man.
Has EG played yet? I assume they played earlier today.
I'm looking.
At least one game.
No.
Is this their first match?
EG OpTic. They played.
OpTic's playing their 5th game, and EG's just playing their 1st game. Something about that seems
wrong.
But
then EG pretty much plays 5 in a row as well at the end, though.
So
it's the opposite.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting though, but I don't know. It'll be fun to see Baidu keep going. OpTic, they're now 3-1. They're 1 loss to VGJ Storm, which I think like these best of ones, right? They're toss-ups between like these 3 really top teams. Who knows what happens? And I do want to give a shout out to Pizza in a Bag. When you don't want pizza, but you want a bag, and you want pizza in that bag, it's bts.gg/pizza. 10% off. Use the code BTS. That stands for Beyond the Summit, not the K-pop group. And they've got buffalo, pepperoni, and supreme. bts.gg/pizza. And, you know, I've been enjoying it. MRP, I'll have to ship you a bag. It's an experience. It is an experience.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this pizza stuff up here in Canada, you know?
Wait, you guys don't have pizza in Canada? You guys have lasagna, right? That's a Canadian thing?
You know, we're catching up.
Yeah,
you're catching up.
You're catching up. You just got spaghetti in the 1800s, so that's good.
Is this real?
No, they have pizza in Canada. I went to Montreal once. All they had was strip clubs, pizza joints, and like smokeries. And I was like, what's a smokery?
Yeah, that's it.
It was definitely something else. But that is the end of Team Baidu versus OpTic Gaming. After this, it's EG versus OpTic. I know people are going to want to watch that. I know it's going to be crazy. MRP, I believe you're casting that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we will be back with MRP. Me, Breaky, Brax, we'll be back with MRP in about 5 to 6 minutes, so stick around, and we'll see you soon.
Place your bets at gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at gg.bet.
And on the count of 3. It's only one in your dreams.
What up, everyone? Welcome back. We are here. If you didn't know, a little bit longer break because OpTic, they're playing a a long stretch of Dota here. They requested a little bit of a break, and also I just think it's It's EG's first game. They're scheduled, and they're probably waiting. You know, Peter will take the chance to, you know, just mess up the balance of stuff a little. Honestly, I think that could also play into it. But, hey, mind games, Dota games, all games matter in a game like this.
That's right. Games.
Yeah.
MRP, what's going on, my friend?
Faintly hear him. There we go.
I thank Gaben for this bounty of Dota we're about to experience.
Oh, we are in for not only that, also the bounty. Have you opened any of your Immortals yet?
I have not.
I
know
haven't
what?
either.
I'm the type. So I used to make money off my battle passes before they did this 1 year expiry. Like you can't trade things for 1 year.
Yeah.
I still have all my treasures from 2017 from TI7. So I hope they're worth something in a few months.
Like the battle pass treasures, or?
Yeah, I have all the immortal treasures still. So we'll see if I can pay for my new battle pass. We'll see what happens.
It could work out. I know when I went to TI, I got one of the witness treasures, you know, you got from being there, and I opened it. I only had one, and I opened the most expensive one, the Golden Spectre. I was so happy. It's on the market, by the way, right now, if anyone wants to check it out. No, it really is, though.
I got one as well. I sold it right away. I think I got like $170 or something for it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Those treasures, they're super cool, too. The golden ones, they look gorgeous. And, well, EG versus OpTic is coming up shortly. We're just waiting for OpTic to get ready. Yeah, this is, I don't know. This feels like, I wouldn't even say grudge match. It just feels like it's going to be a very good game of Dota with a little bit of salt sprinkled on both sides.
Whenever you have PPD going up against EG, I mean, it's a grudge match, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be a fun game of Dota ahead. Now, as we've been pointing out, the OpTic game, and again, this is their 5th match, and they're getting a little bit of a break here as well, but they're already warmed up. You can look at it from that perspective. Evil Geniuses, on the other hand, we'll see how they come out swinging here in Game 1. But, of course, this is going to be EG with Fly as well as S4, and we did get to see them at the Super Major, obviously, but I'm intrigued to see how they play here, though, against OpTic.
Yeah, it was a good point, Breaky. From the beginning of the day, the plan was that after the 3rd match, before the Baidu match, that OpTic was going to take their lunch break. So for whatever reason, they opted to play that match and then put the break between them and EG. So perhaps they thought it'd be a little bit easier. They could use the recuperation before EG. So that was just kind of, games on games on games. Just a little thing to mention.
Yep. I mean, so we did see them at the Super Major. They had, 3 days to prepare as a team? As in, a lot of them are traveled. They just didn't have time to prepare. But then they got home. You had a week or two. If you watch them during the open qualifiers, I mean, they slammed VGJ Storm.
Yep.
So
I feel like this is their true.
This is
their true first test, right?
Yeah.
OpTic Gaming, very, very strong. This should actually. It's hard to know how much their practice is actually done for them, right?
Exactly.
You don't see it. We have no idea. Grant is sponsored by EG. Maybe he's got the inside scoop.
Whoa, nothing. No, absolutely not. No, I mean, coming in this, I said OpTic was a favorite to go out in first place. I thought EG was a close second, and then VGJ at a little more distant third, but I don't know. After that Baidu King game, I don't know if it's just the OpTic drafts. Maybe they're saving all their stuff, but maybe OpTic's a little weaker. Maybe Baidu King's a little stronger.
Baidu's pretty good. I think Baidu's pretty good, and you've been talking about that,
but still, if I'm saying OpTic is the best of the best in NA, I want to see a lot more than what they just did, right? You want to see better than that.
Saving your strategies for the next best team is a very real strategy.
That is.
Right? Yep. It's very important not to show your entire hand, especially in best of ones.
Yeah.
You want to win, but you don't want to win that badly by picking, your Huskars or whatever it is.
Smart.
Even though they've already picked
What
Huskar.
about? It reminds me of EG versus VJ Storm game number 2 in open qualifiers. VGJ decided to pick an AM 4th pick and do 0 intelligence heroes and 0 heroes it was good against. I was like, oh, they've given up. I don't know. That was just weird. That was super weird to me.
Well, I think it's important to stress as well, because the NA, because there's 3 teams coming out of it, the format is a little bit different in terms of the top team in groups qualifies. So getting that first place seed, of course, is very significant compared to the other regions. And then on top of that, then it's the top 2 from the playoffs that will advance on to TI itself. So in a lot of ways, if OpTic loses this, they can pretty much kiss the first place seed at least goodbye. And then they'll have to rely on the playoffs, which obviously is still not that big of a deal in the end, but getting first, not worrying about playoffs, that's where you want to be in the end.
It puts you at ease, being able to secure that first place spot. You don't have to fight against all these other teams. Yeah. Definitely what everyone's aiming for.
Yeah. MRP, who are you favoring going into this?
Well, I mean, coming into the qualifiers, I definitely considered OpTic number one, like of the big three, and that's simply because of chemistry reasons. I just the length of time they played together, and I also think maybe arguably that this is the most versatile tricore that PPD's ever had. That's probably saying a lot, but he basically has a lot of picks, but. You know, the thing about EG, I feel like, you know, since a couple ago roster changes, they haven't, you know, basically since Peter, they haven't had a real hard 5. And I think Fly actually brings that, and he's super comfortable, and he has great positioning. And so he's actually picking these kind of dazzle type heroes for them and making it work. And I think it's enabling them more than they've been able to do with, like, you know, Misery's hopped around and played a lot of different roles. The Zai crit support duo was a bit awkward in that they kind of overlapped in their you know, purposes. So I really think this like hard 5 Fly edition can bear fruit. So you know, going into it, I have to slightly favor OpTic, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised at all if EG wins this one. And the other thing I want to mention is, if we're talking top 1 who qualifies automatically, it almost feels like OpTic has to win this game because they lost to VGJ Storm already.
Yep, they do. And VGJ Storm, I'm just looking back, they're 3-0 already. It looks like they've beaten OpTic. They have beaten JAS, which is probably the weakest team. And they have beaten Immortals. Let's see. It was a 27-minute game against Immortals. So VGJ, they're looking good. They are ready to go. It could just come down to one best of one between, who knows? Maybe it already got played, VGJ versus OpTic.
Who did you guys predict for the 3 teams to move on? Let's talk about that here. And as far
those
as
3,
you picked.
Actually, no, I picked Baidu King Squad as 3rd.
Did you?
Come
okay,
on.
so you
no,
picked
no, no,
That's
no,
some
no,
faith
no, no,
right
no.
there.
Let me bring it up. My compendium.
EG, OpTic, and Baidu Squad. Is that who you picked?
EG, OpTic. No, I did VJ Storm.
Oh, you did do Storm. Okay.
Wait, did I do? Oh my God! I picked Serenity 2nd, so I'm not going to get the points for it. I'm actually so mad.
Does that actually matter? Second
it
or
did
first?
last year. It better not this year. I got so mad.
That would kind of suck. Yeah.
Let's see. What did I? Hey, got that one. I could win that one.
possible.
Fnatic, get me out. No.
So, I mean, so personally, I chose EG, OpTic, and Complexity. A little bit of fanboyism coming out, I know.
Quite a bit, yes.
But at the same time, it's oh, what's up, Cap? I don't know. VGJ Storm, it's not that I'm overlooking them. It's just one of those teams obviously is not going to be advancing on. So it's tough, though. Especially now seeing them 3-0 and beating OpTic. They
look good, yeah.
I am regretting that. I'll say that.
I guess I took a little too much out of the open qualifiers. Maybe VGJ, not just saving, but like they know they didn't have to beat EG in that first open qualifier. There's no way they're losing that second open qualifier. Maybe they're just we're just going to completely sandbag, and it's not a bad strategy. I don't know if they actually did that, but it's not a terrible strategy. Cap, what's good?
So who just won?
OpTic beat Baidu King. It was like a
3-1.
45-minute match, though. It was a little struggle
so
for them.
OpTic just lost the VGA game, and that's all.
They are.
But this is the next real test for them.
Yes.
EG game. That's hype. That's why I came on. I saw EG OpTic. I wasn't sure if you guys were doing the pregame or the
we're doing
wrap up.
We're doing some pregame right now. So Cap, who do you think's the favorite?
EG's first game, by the way.
I haven't seen EG at all.
Yeah, nobody has.
I didn't see any of their. Well, they had to go through opens, right? So
yeah.
Some people saw them.
Oh, we saw them at Super Major, but at the same time, that was right after the roster obviously was changed. So.
I mean, I'm gonna favor OpTic. I was a little bit surprised that on your list you had EG, OpTic, VGJ. I guess I would.
I didn't know it went in order.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I forgot it did last. I would probably put EG first, and I would have put VG. No, I would have done that exact order. I lied.
I would have gone OpTic, EG, VGJ.
Okay, I could see that. I said OpTic was my favorite going in. I was just, it's my compendium. I can do whatever the hell I want, right?
Agreed. That's why I was surprised, because you were specifically the person who said that you actually favored OpTic the most.
Well, guess what? We have a draft MRP. I know you're nervous. I don't know why, but I bet you are.
I got goosebumps, my friend. I can't wait. You know, we had a good run with Brax, but we got to bring back the one true king of NA of the mid lane. GG going to be alongside us for this one, so super excited.
Me too.
How did it feel to dumpster BSJ? I gotta ask.
Do you really want to know?
Why are we talking about BSJ and Evil Geniuses versus OpTic? How does his name
BSJ's in the regionals and they're playing, and I'm here, and it felt pretty damn good. I'll say, like, he was talking some mad garbage. He's like, if I lose to you, I'm retiring. I'm like, you're not CC&C versus Mason, but apparently he said that, and me and Mason both won our respective duels. But yeah, it felt great. And now the bans: Wisp, Chen,
Yeah, IO pretty standard. Yeah.
Something I've been noticing in the laning phase, this is a little bit down the line, of course, but EG, they've been running Fly with S4 in the lane, and then, of course, Crit with Arteezy. And, you know, that it goes back to just the comfort factor, I think, more than anything. But we'll see if they do that this time around against OpTic.
Visage is a hero both these squads like, so, and it slips through the first phase of bans. I wouldn't be too surprised to see it picked out.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, like Visage. A high tier hero for both of these teams.
Look at EG's last ban. See you later. If you didn't know, Cap, Bloodseeker's been picked in OpTic's 3 of their 4 games, and they're 2-1 with it.
Well, the interesting thing about that is that they lost to VGJ Storm with it. Yeah. So, should EG really be the most scared about that hero? I don't know.
That hero can just go so quickly out of control, right? Like and it makes you play differently. If anyone's low on the map, he's a better hero.
I don't think there's too much to take away from the series they lost. They were quite far ahead. And they happened to lose at the end.
They got drought.
Which is weird, right? Because usually if you get drought, it means you lost really bad in the early game. I didn't actually see the end. What happened?
I mean, the laning phase was back and forth. CCNC's Shadow Fiend was doing pretty good, and then got caught a couple times, and yeah, started to go downhill. So,
Wind Ranger has been first pick in most of the games as well, right? It was first pick in the first 2.
At least in the first 2. Actually, the second 2, I don't think she was seen.
Might have been second banned, I believe.
Yeah,
in the
might have
been
banned later on.
Because we made that joke about
it's a mag coming out.
OpTic just playing against Wind Ranger Dro.
It's going to be a mag for EG. 100% it's a mag for EG. After this, they run Wind Ranger mag, dual lane, Empower level 1 with Orb of Venom, 80 damage a hit.
Really?
Maybe it won't be, but it is very disgusting. They ran it a lot in opens. But for OpTic, you could do anything. I think they like Lycan. I think they like Bloodseeker. They're both gone. Make them do something different. Make CCNC maybe play Kunkka again. Didn't have the best Kunkka game.
That's true. He did have a rough game. Well, rough start. His actual game was pretty good.
Dude, I do want to say that one sick play at the bottom when they waited for him to X back for the Lena. That was actually, and the fact he timed it, that was pretty sick.
He counted it to 8.
Yep.
I think PyCap blew it wide open with the blink up to the high ground hex.
Oh, wow.
Sladar.
Any thoughts of this hero? I don't know.
Is that going to be a 3-3 Slaughter or was Zai Slaughter? That's the question. I think Zai played it earlier, but or no, was it 3-3? I don't know.
It was 33 Venomancer. And
that's right. Yeah,
was Zai on You're right.
Does anyone think this hero's good, bad? Like I'm looking at, I don't see it often.
I think it's underpicked.
So. Okay.
I think it's a decent core. I think it's a decent support. I honestly think that core Slaughter is being underpicked, but. There's a lot of future synergy that you can run with this. Same with the Magnus, right? You're talking about this Magnus Wind Ranger combo. Many of the cores that are popular right now really work really well with Magnus. So you've got Luna, you've got Ember Spirit. Kunkka is quite strong as well.
Spectre?
Like pretty much any of the melee heroes that you could possibly think of are going to be good, right?
No.
So which ones do you ban then if you're OpTic? Because if Grant knew this, PPD probably expected this too, right? So
I probably watched a little more Dota than him, but I'm sure he did some research. But yeah, I don't know. They don't really. They play me and Brax actually talked about this earlier. They play Magnus. They rarely get Blink. Maybe they almost always go Tread's Crimson Guard like first item, and it's they just play in a very different way. It's a very good way. I mean, we saw 33 did it on.
Yeah, Brew.
Brew. Yeah, they do. They play very similar.
S4 does have history with this hero too. Yeah.
It sounds like the way that people used to run with Enigmas, when they used to get like Vanguard and such, where they would just be very tanky and they're this like constant threat to lay down the big team fight ultimate.
That was the Ember. Ember's been popular and only gets better with Magnus.
Yep. I just want to talk about Slaughter a bit, guys.
Do it.
He has been nerfed quite a bit. The stun is like half a second. Duration shorter, and it does less damage as well. But have you guys actually seen how fast he runs through the river with the level 4 sprint? Like,
see, you need level 4 though for that.
Yes, but he crosses the map in like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
There's no other hero that can actually get from one side to the other that quickly. So
yeah,
like
with super runes and mutation, I insta pick Slaughter every game and win.
Yeah, he's always like he's everywhere, looking for kills all the time, and he gives you Roche.
I'm always intrigued to see a Slaughter in the game as far as how they level it, because you're all right, it's insanely fast, but do Slaughters value that enough to get first, over the stun level 4, or would you still level the stun level 4? I think most still level the stun level 4 at this point, but
I've seen him. I just haven't seen enough Slaughters. I knew it used to be pretty 50-50. I don't know. I just have not seen enough Slaughters myself.
Very underplayed for sure.
What has happened to Beastmaster in NA, guys? I feel like it's being ignored more recently.
Yeah, we're seeing a final ban a couple times, but you're not wrong.
I think NA's on to something. I think Beastmaster sucks now.
Well,
okay. Wow.
Oh, wait, Cap, you just came off 2-0 from SG. Was Beastmaster first picked every game?
King Tekka almost won the first game for Taurus off of his Beastmaster, and then he threw. But he destroyed the first 25 minutes of the game. He just didn't buy BKB later, which was a problem. Yeah. And then SG won game 2 with very much so because of the Beastmaster.
It's first, and it's been first pick. Me and Brax watched. They're first picking it over Warlocks and stuff, and they very much value. It's just weird. I don't know. It's a region thing, right? Like every region has their weird things.
Their build is different as well. Like I'm seeing a lot more of the medallion into Necro, whereas the medallion Shadowblade has been preferred from NA, I think, and then some of the other regions.
What is this?
Oh my.
Huh.
What's this hero?
They got Drought earlier. I wonder if that's a takeaway to an extent. I mean, they obviously could have banned it, though. Yeah, that...
I'm just looking. And it's a third pick Drought, right? Like, that says something instead of either being first or even last.
Visage is actually very possible now. It goes back to that, too.
Yeah.
For OpTic.
Unless they want to make Arteezy play it here.
Yeah, it almost feels like he's cornering them into picking the Visage for some reason.
We'll see. The Fly, as you said, the Dazzle, his back, and a classic.
Yeah, he loves that hero. That's one of his go-to.
When did VGJ Storm pick it up? Did you guys watch the draft? I didn't know if it was the last
in the first two.
It wasn't the first.
Oh yeah, it was a Wind Ranger Drought opening by Storm.
Huh.
Is this any other pick besides Visage?
It seems like it's so obvious, but is it too obvious? Is that the problem? Like, is it too? You still have 2 more picks on EG side.
Do you just? I mean, in a best of 1, do you just pick the obvious? And if you outplay the team with the Drow lineup, if you just play 100%, you're more than likely going to win 20 minutes in, and then you just play well, and you're good.
Or they could go more like a Lena mid and then get a 3/3 hero, a different one, like a Brewmaster almost, more of a frontliner. Brings the crowd control.
This Magnus, if he does go the Crimson Guard build, it's going to be super value this game.
Yeah,
like they're not
for sure.
Drow might do damage. No one else is going to touch anyone. Like Witch Doctor, Slardar don't do any damage. Witch Doctor's ulti's already garbage. Now you add a Crimson Guard, it's like Omega garbage. That's the worst ultimate in the game, I think, legitimately.
Think so?
I think Witch Doctor's ulti is one of the worst in the game, which is weird because when Ricky had it in Dota 1, it was one of the best ones, but now it's the worst.
Stan King just won a game with Aghanim's Witch Doctor.
That's good if you can get it.
Yeah, he got the range. I don't think he got level 25 to get the damage though. Unfortunately,
if you can
been sick.
do that, it's sick. But right, like level 6, level 12, it's just not good.
You usually just see like the position 6 Witch Doctors struggling to get anything, right?
Yeah,
that's usually the
hope he gets level 4 cask.
Exactly.
That's my ulti. Well, it's a Mirana. It isn't a Visage, so they do go heavy damage, and we've been seeing Mirana is the carry, but it's usually run in the off lane. Like Mirana +1 in the offlane run as a carry, though.
Yep.
But it could be CC&C. He played it a lot on Freedom back last TI.
That's true. And they still could be, or there still could be a Visage threat.
Exactly.
That's what I'm thinking. If they don't ban Visage here, I think the mid Mirana offlane Visage for sure.
But then are the EG baiting out? That's the whole thing, right? It's mind games now. Like, why didn't EG ban Visage? They have to know we're picking it. It's like a back and forth mind game at this point. Which is great. I love it.
So you're saying it's going to be Wind Ranger Magnus offlane most likely, so they still need their mid and their safe.
And it could change because Sumail also plays Wind Ranger. That's the thing. That's the problem when you actually know a team. You watch them, you see all their play. I think it's Magnus Wind Ranger, but Sumail does play middle a lot.
You only have the Bash to go through, so I thought that Jug was decent value until the Mirana pickup. Just because of the leaps are a problem for you. But anything that can get on top of the Draw Ranger is going to be quite strong and utilizes the Empower. So
I think it's the gap. Yeah, that's perfect. It's the gap close and leveraging the Empower, right? I still don't feel like PA is very good right now. And there is some magic damage, but not much of it. So still slated to do well.
It does make sense in this lineup, though, right? Closing the distance against the Drow, and you also have Magnus Empower to back you up.
And Slardar.
Heal Bomb.
Just daggering Slardar over and over, makes him useless almost even in lane.
Yeah.
It's fun. There we go. Last ban's coming out. Okay, let's put bets. We're all saying it. Is EG get a ban Visage?
I don't know anymore. I mean, are the PA's a pretty good pick.
I just can't think of what else they would want to pick instead of that.
Yeah. Because you want something to take some advantage of the aura, right?
Exactly.
Or maybe you don't. Maybe you
don't
take a
have
Beastmaster.
to.
You definitely don't have to.
Beastmaster Drow's not terrible. Just push.
Yeah.
I noticed no one said yes or no. I'll say
Yes.
they won't ban it.
Oh, okay. I think that OpTic will pick it if it's not banned.
Okay. Okay.
I think they ban it because it is problematic if you're like PA. Because it's a hero that you can't reliably jump on and kill quickly because of the Gravekeeper's Cloak.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
They
right?
think
like you get a crit 80% damage reduction. Like okay.
they do think it's a middle Wind Ranger themselves, since they do ban out the Tusk.
Okay. They're just scared of the hero that's gonna help get on top of OpTic's lineup.
They saw Schofield play it. Dude was nasty. Schofield was a nasty dude on that Tusk.
5 seconds remaining.
Couple more seconds. What about EG? We talked about Visage for OpTic. What does EG need last? Either a 4 or a middle, right? That's what it looks like. What do you think adds up here?
I definitely think it's going to be a mid hero.
Okay. I agree. I like it. I like Wind Ranger in the 4 position way more than middle.
Just what mid hero? I have no idea.
Because it's going to be an RTZPA for sure. And if you're wondering, maybe it'll be Sumail P8 now. That's not happening, my friends.
Maybe like a Dragon Knight mid for Evil Geniuses. Doesn't seem too bad here. It's another stun that they can rely on. Their stun right now isn't the greatest. Jackal Shot's not the most reliable. RP, obviously, big ultimate. So DK provides a reliable stun. The Dragon Blood's great passive to have against this lineup. One that stands out. So that would go back to sending the Wind Ranger top.
Well, they only have 20 seconds to ban. They got to think it out. That's even more nerve-wracking in a best of one. Like, you make one miss ban right here, could just be the game as well.
I think that all this thinking is the ban, no doubt. I think they're going to snap pick after they ban.
Is there a chance that this is like they're thinking of like the 3 big cheese heroes in the game right now? Huskar.
Well, they ban.
Okay, they ban Huskar. Huskar, Visage, and like Broodmother.
I don't think you can run Brood against mag lineups.
I don't think you can either. But
especially PA, because PA just gets on top of Brood. It's hard.
Well,
yeah, they ban out the Huskar instead.
All right.
They only got 20 seconds here because they only have both team only has about 4 seconds of reserve time. So,
I mean, they already had PA mag, like PA mag, Wind Ranger, Dazzle. Those heroes are all pretty good versus Huskar. So, isn't it like Huskar's got to be good against whatever this is?
Wow.
Dark Willow. So that means it is going to be the middle Wind
So
Ranger.
Male Wind Ranger, yeah.
Okay.
Or mid dark, no.
Well, I mean, doesn't Magnus Dark Willow pretty much does the same thing? That is a ton of damage. You just go into the lane, empower Dark Willow with an Orb of Venom probably.
Yep.
And
Same exact idea.
Thing. So do you guys, I mean, before we see OpTic's draft, you like EG's draft? Is it well suited? Just
there
overall?
definitely is a lack of disables against heroes like Mirana and Sladar. But
yeah, why do you say Sladar?
Sladar.
That's his name.
There's an R after the A.
They take the DK.
It's a Slacks thing.
Yep, Dragon Knight. Okay. So like I said, OpTic and no. But yeah, so they end up with it. Okay.
I mean, it's not bad either way,
Yeah.
right? It was a bunch of physical damage on both sides. I think he wanted a stun for sure.
Silver Edge is going to be pretty powerful this game for OpTic. Naturally, against a Phantom Assassin, may want to be something they think. And both DK and Drow could definitely build into that.
I mean, EG's lineup is just like they have to kill things.
Yep.
OpTic at least has the option. They have a lot of power. They have some decent laning phase, but they also have the option to be able to push down a lot of towers after they win a fight. EG's lineup doesn't give you the same kind of power. Most you have is Empower on Wind Ranger, and she could focus fire at tier 1. But OpTic's lineup is a sort of lineup that just bullies down multiple towers after a team fight.
All right.
Yeah. I feel like in scenarios where EG's lineup can be really scary is when the opposition is cooldown reliant, right? But OpTic are pretty much ready to fight all the time. I mean, it's really just DK form that they have to kind of play around. So I'm a little bit worried as well if they just have good peel, if they build an early pike on Pycat, that OpTic can kind of just drag it out and beat EG. We'll see what happens.
Yep. All right. Brax, Breaky, Cap, before you guys leave, what are your predictions? Best of one?
OpTic.
OpTic.
I was going to say OpTic, but damn, I mean, I'm still going to go with
pick
OpTic.
who you
I'm looking at your shirt.
I'm still going to go with OpTic. Yeah, that's a little awkward now, isn't it?
It is. You messed up.
I like the boys, but OpTic Gaming.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Me and MRP are going to be bringing you the action right now. And it looks like, yep, top lane will be that Dark Willow Magnus. No Orb of Venom on the Dark Willow, but c'est la vie.
Yeah.
MRP, who are you? I didn't ask you. Are you feeling EG? Are you feeling the OpTic?
I'm a non-biased caster, my friend. Cop out. I honestly, I'm a bit concerned for EG, but I definitely think that they have the propensity to snowball. Yeah. It just kind of depends on the lanes for me. Crit can be super annoying with the super fast base attack time on the Dark Willow, but I don't know how much real kill potential they have in that lane. They can do some bullying, but Willow has a lot of like long cooldown spells, so it feels like it'll require a mistake from OpTic for them to actually get kills there. But we'll see what kind of start RTZ gets off to.
Yeah. Do you want to do play-by-play or me? It's your choice. You do it. You like it?
I think I'll humbly request analyst Grant
to
be
sounds good to me.
This one.
I've got you, because PPD. Notice how he changed his name back to Peter Pandem?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I don't know why, but it's interesting. I'm just going to throw that out there.
You got the inside scoop for us, perhaps between the next couple of games. But it is, as you alluded to, the fabled 33 Mirana. He's super comfortable on this hero, so we'll see what he gets up to. It is going to be the 2-for-2 bounty trade. It looks like the dire side yet to grab up theirs in the off lane, but looks pretty standard for now.
Yep. Arteezy actually blocking the lane bottom, so they want to get it as close to the tower probably as they can. Look at it, he blocks it, and now he is going to be zoned completely out of this lane. He's going to have to TP over, and now Peter goes top. Yeah.
Creep's just ignoring him, of course. After that change, just deal with it yourself, man. Crit and S4 up top. Definitely going to be the beefier and the scarier of the two lanes here, but we'll see what they can do as far as kills. It looks like most of the action is going to happen in this bottom lane in the early going. Yeah. Fly already skilled up the Shadow Wave here. Help trade.
Yep, and you see Peter already skilled up the heal as well. That's what these dual lanes have done. You thought it'd be like, oh, more actions, more stuns, but everyone just skills their like more passive heals nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Creeps are so important in Dota. Probably the most important they've been in a long time. Lane creeps, that is. And so just staying on map as long as you possibly can. Crush is actually going to whiff bottom lane. Arteezy getting a little bit aggressive onto 33, but not sure if they've seen the arrow just yet. They see it now, so wasn't sure if he had skilled the pounce or not. And the Crush going to be nicely chained on top of the arrow. Arteezy actually close to going down here, and he will spill first blood. Fly, body blocked up, could be in trouble too. The Crush comes through as well. Gonna look for the big Shadow Wave and won't be able to connect on 33. He'll be able to grave himself, but that's an early skill point in grave. Might hurt the lane a little bit, and he will go down regardless. Wow. As 33 and Zai off to a good start for their squad in the bottom lane.
And you see that even just that +3 damage from the Drought Aura over to the Mirana was definitely just so helpful to help secure that. And damn, that is a quick 2-0, like you said. The only problem now is Zai is running out of region, only has 2 tangos. 33, yeah. He has a bot. Oh, they say, oh, I just missed kill top. I just wanted to say they saved the bounty rune so he could bottle it up because they knew he wanted to go bottom. That's crazy.
Yeah, top, they, you could say maybe get a little bit fortunate. They got the Bramble Mace and the Skewer, so able to net the kill on Peter. Nicely done, though, by the duo of S4 and Crit with a little bit of a response kill, but, not the biggest worry for OpTic at this point.
Yep, they're still happy about what happened bottom. And Mirana, we've been seeing her more and more. She has turned into such a strong, like, off-laner carry. Like, she just has huge agility gain, and she just scales extremely well, especially with her talents.
Yeah, can you just constantly poke you. Kind of similar to the Willow in that sense, really. Right-click.
Yeah. Oh, I think you cut off there. Uh-oh. I think I may have lost MRP here. I could be wrong, but okay, one sec. Hello. Just kidding. Call MRP while we see that we're watching 33. Look at the last hits though. Sumail doing pretty damn good here. What's up, MRP? We didn't miss much, but you're back, and that's good.
I was just gonna say, Sumail doing pretty well in the mid lane, but Zai's gone for this early point in the bash. So just gonna help him trade in the bottom. That was a little interesting for me. And Sacred Arrow gonna whiff, yeah. Fly will be okay, but still copying some harassment here as Arteezy desperately trying to hit these creeps here. 13 CS on the PA is gonna have to fall back to defend his Dazzle.
I like that early. He doesn't have any in sprint, which usually is good, but if you're just sitting in 2-2 lanes, right, and you don't want to roam, if you get, it's a 10% chance. 80 bonus damage, that's 2 auto attacks. So for 1 auto attack, you can almost get 3 times your damage, and that could easily be a kill on someone like Fly.
And there certainly has been a lot of trading here bottom, so see how it helps him out going forward. RTZ going to go a little bit defensive with that early point in the blur. We talked about how easy it is for Mirana. Just toss those arrows in. Meanwhile, S4, Bramble Maze up, top lane. Oh, a nice gust. Going to be thrown out there by PyCat as S4 looks for the skewer into the tower. And the early value point in Gust going to save PyCat's life there effectively. Unfortunately, hurts the right-click potential of his team a little bit, as he could have put the second point in precision, but it'll save his life for now.
No, that's the biggest thing, right? These 2-2 lanes, it's all about regen. It's weird. Like, you can get a kill. If you trade, like, a kill, like a death for all their regen, you're fine dying, because you took all their regen. Now you're just going to sit in lane and poke them, and they can't farm.
Yeah, certainly so. And speaking of regen, Zai gone for a bottle here. So definitely feeling like they can continue to pressure in this lane and kind of steal the bounty rune, steal the bottom river.
That's 33s. He actually gave it to him, it looks like.
Okay.
Damn, that's...
So he's got a regen.
Yeah, carry... Oh my goodness, that shadow wave. Goodness gracious. Almost kills him.
10 stick charges as well, though, on 33. Oh. So maybe looking to bait a little. Misses the crush onto Fly, does Zai. And meanwhile, top lane deep behind enemy lines. Peter looking to take the 5-minute rune. Cursed Crown will not be there in time. He'll get the rune successfully, but he might pay with his life as the Bramble Maze goes out and power right clicks coming through from Crit. Voodoo Restoration is there, though, and he looks like he'll make it uphill here. He gets the stick off, takes his bounty rune as well. Peter was the absolute spaceman in the prior game against Baidu's squad, but Cursed Crown to pop here. He's still got a couple of mangoes, so throw out the cask. And Crit just shy of netting the kill.
Nice play by PB. I love how he saved the stun for when Cursed Crown was going to hit. But look at middle. Ooh, stun barely comes out in time. That might have been kill. It might still be. Damn. He has a no boots javelin MRP. That just got him that kill. Versus a DK with armor, right? Guess what goes through armor? A javelin.
That's some promo code right there. Very nicely done by Sumail. Gets himself a kill in the mid lane in the true 1v1. 33 will do a little bit of taunting away from the tower, but RTZ able to regen up after they got aggressive on him. And so a really nice silver lining in this early game, that solo kill in mid for Sumail.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised Crit didn't go for the... I thought he was just going to go steal Peter's rune, right? He had the Cursed Crown. He could have just ran past him, right, and took in his rune, but he went for the kill, and, dude, that heal early, so much.
Dragon Form going to be popped mid by CC. And he's going to throw a couple of corrosive right clicks into the tower, look to whittle it down, but nothing too significant done just yet.
They're controlling runes, though. CC&C, that is his second rune, and as well, we saw that bottled up regen by Zai earlier, but here comes a rotation in middle, it looks like.
Yeah, CC&C is pretty far down on the low ground. Crit has the 2 levels in the Bramble Maze and the Cursed Crown, so the maximum CC build. And TP's inbound. Dragon Knight pretty tanky here. Sumail doesn't have a point in the shackle just yet, as he went for the max power shot. And the true 1v1 lane build. So unable to, and meanwhile, Arrow goes out bottom lane, going to connect on Arteezy. He's graved up for the moment, but the bash is there from Zai. And the Shadow Wave comes out just as the grave expires still, though. Zai, crush available. Just holding it to see if he saw the blink animation from Arteezy, and still has it. Looking at Fly, gets him. And another double kill for this bottom lane.
Wow. This is just... That bash too, right? We see the value point in bash coming in now. They're just going to pressure. They don't even have an Aquila, and they're going to pressure tower. And look at this. This is going to be the most value shrine I've seen at 7 minutes before. All 3 members.
PyCat, though, off death. Arteezy TPs to top. And the Drow Ranger going to be in trouble here as the rest of his unit is up on top of the shrine. So they will get something back from OpTic.
Yeah, that was a little bit sloppy. You have to realize, you TP out, the Mirana TP'd out under the tower, right, of Radiant. Yeah. So they're like, wait, they're going to shrine up. CC&C's off the map. They had to know everyone was missing, and PyCat didn't get the memo, it looks like.
3-3-3, stalking bot lane. Fly could be in a little bit of trouble. PyCat does the opposite move that Arteezy did just a moment ago. Sacred Arrow going to whiff, and Fly going to be able to make it back to safety. Meanwhile, cutting the wave top, Arteezy alongside S4's Magnus.
I don't know if you saw bottom. He just completely like missed. He meant to leap forward an arrow, and he leaped backwards and then arrowed. It was a little mistake.
Happens from time to time, I suppose.
I don't make many mistakes myself, but it does happen, I guess. Middle, there's 2-on-2 going.
Bramble Maze flies out, does catch the root. Cursed Crown will be there as well. CC&C, still no shackle for Sumail, but he could be in trouble here. Power shot, well, Zai actually rotating through level 2 sprint. Sumail could now be the one in trouble as he's going to be crushed up. Has a win run in 2 seconds. 1 second has it available. The Dragon Tail's there to keep him on the spot. Crick now going to rotate through, though, and it looks like well. Crush connects onto 2. Dual breath or breathe fire is available. Sumail in trouble here. Is going to get brought down. Big kill for CCNC to get. As Sumail was sitting on level 8. So that puts CCNC halfway, almost full way through level 7 here.
Damn, and that felt a little bit cocky from Sumail, right? That last win run, I felt he could have just ran away, right? But it looked like he wanted to go for a kill. That was not the right play.
Yeah, RTZ finding himself a little bit of space, maybe the one kind of caveat here for EG in the top lane. He does hit level 6, has 44 CS, so alongside, you know, basically all the other 1s and 2s in the game, all sitting at around that 45 CS mark. But OpTic with a slight early lead.
And bottom lane, big rotate, the gust into the arrow. He's dead.
Oh, wow, what a play from Zai. Anticipating the skewer, 2-man crushes there. S4 going to be right-clicked down by the Drow, and now Fly in trouble as well. And with the Corrosive Haze, they'll get that kill. Beautifully played by Zai.
Yep. That was nice. The gust into the arrow. These are just great rotations coming from OpTic. They didn't know where 33 was that whole time. He was just sitting in trees for like a minute or two. Just sitting there, never showing on the map. That's the best thing you can do. Peter.
Oh, they thought they had the kill, but it's only the level 1 Shadow Realm up onto crit. And RTZ forced to back off and salve up.
The only good thing about that, right, is you know Peter's probably going to go heal. So it's almost better than him not dying because you're like, well, he won't be back for a decent amount of time right there.
And RTZ can pressure this tower a little bit. It is very healthy. Siege Wave inbound, though, but meanwhile, bottom. Yeah, Fly in trouble, crushed up. And brought down. And now CCNC, knowing his comrades are nearby, is going to pop that Dragon Form, going to try and bounce off Sumail. But actually, OpTic has gone south. So a little bit of mind games, perhaps, after they find that kill. Now, Arrow going to fly through S4, is going to be able to dodge it for the time being, but only really has a skewer. Is going to skewer forward into a 33. Will fake cast the RP, as he probably didn't have the kill potential regardless. And wise of him to save that ability, as our EG just trying to... find the trade top lane. Zai, though, nearby. Tranquil's level 2 sprint at the ready, and a wraparound from Peter. But he's going to be found out by Crit. Meanwhile, mid lane, they are going to be able to push back CCNC just as the tower's outside of deny range.
I don't know. OpTic is playing this so well right now. I love off cooldown. CCNC just uses his ultimate. He knows he doesn't have to take the tower right away. He's just pressuring it slowly, so they always have to defend. And then bottom lane.
Yeah.
Anyone who goes down there is just dying. Pycat is just... When you can just have a Drow sit here, right? Like, you don't expect that. He's just sitting there way past the river. Now middle, though.
Dead lane, bottom. But, yeah, they do get that all-important level 6 up on the crit. Cursed Crown is there. He's got a Terrorize available. Oh, he's no mana for it, in fact. And CCNC will simply TP out. And, well, RTZ in trouble. Top lane is going to be saved by Fly for now. The Weave's going to go out onto 3 enemy heroes, but Fly is going to fall. He at least, for the time being, does save RTZ, gets back to base off the last Maledict tick at 20 HP, and is going to be able to shrine up. Do you feel like this lack of a shackle point has hurt Sumail here, Grant? It feels like a couple of kills.
It definitely feels like he went for the... I feel they thought it was just going to be 2-on-2 lanes for like a long time, right? That's why you're just like, I'm going to dominate CCNC. This is the guy they think he's going to replace my crown as best in middle. I'm going to dominate in lane, which he kind of did, but now he got ganked twice, and having no point shackle, I mean, when you get ganked, there's no way. You either wind run and escape, or you're just dead because you can't hit those stuns. Yeah, I don't like it. I really don't like the build.
Yeah, it feels like the rotations in from his side haven't been able to net a kill. I mean, you know the Dragon Knight's going to be tanky, and they just needed that one extra disable. A couple of times Crits rotated in, and it hasn't bore fruit for them just yet. Fly, as we tend to see him, sitting at the bottom of the net worth, very poor, but getting down some warding up in the northern hemisphere here, up in the Radiant side. They really want to prioritize finally getting this tier 1 and finding RTZ some safe space to farm with this Empower.
Yeah. That's the thing. They do have an empowered PA, right? So if you're making this pressure on OpTic, you have to keep it up for a good long... Well, they're going to go for Zai. They won't get him, though. It will be a tower, but you'd really like killing tower middle lane. They get massacred. There's the tip.
And this is going to be a tier 1 as well. OpTic looking a lot more coordinated in the early going.
An actual smiley face all chat. Damn. This is getting intense already now. You know, the bad blood slipping out maybe, but it's 12-3 MRP. OpTic's killing it. There's 2-to-1 tower advantage right now. I think if you're OpTic, you keep up the pressure, right? You don't let an empowered PA farm away into a victory here.
And it looks like they agree with you. If you look at the 3 wards down from the Dire side, all sort of aggressively postured behind the tier 1s that are taken out, just to allow them to kind of facilitate the push going forward. Meanwhile, though, Zai is going to find out Fly once again. Seems like a recurring theme in this one. PyCat going to join the fray. Why not? Free kill for the Drow Ranger. Will miss from the low ground, but ends up securing it. And the Corrosive Haze already doing work. All this map control afforded to OpTic. Definitely can kind of look at Roche at some point too, although well, a bit of a scary place to fight against the S4 Magnus. We've yet to see an RP sort of do work in this one.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't want, if you're a Magnus, you don't want RP to lead the fight. It's more of a, oh, well, middle lane.
Terrorized, flies out, hits onto 2, nicely placed by Crit. Cursed Crown, going to isolate Peter out as well. But the skewer back from S4 will mean they can't go in for the kill. Well, with the power shot, they find it. Sumail from distance is going to be able to take out his former captain.
Yep. Nice.
Arteezy stalking top lane as well. He has a Vanguard on the PA early on, in the early going.
I like it. Just you have the empower already, right? Like if you go, you're going to be so squishy, and you're going to do nothing if you just go straight Battle Fury. So I like the player. It does mean he farms a lot slower without the Magnus near him.
Yeah, but he can transition into an Abyssal at some point, so certainly not just a kind of wasted item slot. S4 Corrosive up in the bottom lane. He's already used Skewer, and nowhere near a Blink Dagger. Is going to end up falling 14-4 here, 15 minutes in. Grant OpTic certainly better movement, it seems, from their side thus far.
Yeah, and it's not even like, I don't even think it's like the draft is better necessarily than last game. They're just moving around the map better, right? Like they've been everywhere they need to be. They're always TPing to help a team. We saw 33 just sitting in a tree waiting for that kill. They're just playing very well.
Yeah. Again, first game of the day for EG, and certainly not over yet, but with a good grasp on this one is OpTic. Sumail going to join up top lane with Arteezy. Our Dire side, though, do have good vision in the area. And Radiant, though, have a ward down. Going to see that smoke pop. Trying to make it away. Arteezy phase booth, but gets crushed up. Now CNC to the high ground. The Shackle's going to be on there through the Slardar, but the Death Ward finishes off the PA. Now Corrosive Haze is going to find Crit as well. He'll go into the Shadow Realm looking for the TP, and the Root will keep back the Crush. Not long enough, though, as Zai finds it, and really no trades being found elsewhere on the map. S4 farming away bottom lane, but he's not pushing any objective. Fly tries to get it near the tier 1 mid, but is pretty much unsuccessful in doing so. So a really crucial fight win for OpTic there on a side of the map where, you know, EG may not expect them to be, but good vision there from the Dire, going to facilitate a couple of kills.
Yep. I don't know if you noticed 33. I thought he was going Javelin for the Maelstrom, but they have a PA. He's going first item MKB up on that Mirana. I like it. You're very squishy yourself. Luckily, you do have the strength treads, but you got to be careful with going these aggressive builds. But I mean, it's working right now, obviously.
Yeah, we did kind of flag early on that there's a bit of a lack of catch, but now that, you know, there's some levels in the Shackle, it's definitely kind of dicey for him to get in and out of these fights just with the leaps. So we'll see how successful he is with that kind of glass cannon build. But counter smoke from EG, they finally have the Blink RP available on S4, and it could be 2 targets in the mid. You go for it. He does get the
oh no, the cast
will not be able to get PPD, but they'll at least get a kill, and maybe this nets them a tower as well with Zai on the sidelines for 30 seconds.
I thought they might have counter-initiated because PPD actually got off a good casket, followed the mag over to where only heroes could be, but looks like PyCat, he's just farming a stack. You know, I often think of Drow as a stack farmer, but this was a 4 stack, and he has melted it down. Nice use of the orb toggling. Like it. And
yeah, much like we've seen earlier today, he's kind of played the sort of AFK role, and OpTic have been able to create a lot of space around, you know, centering around 33 and CNC.
So it's a 4K lead. It's 16-5. Might think it's a bigger lead, but that's the thing. This feels like not the old EG, but the EG like 6 months ago, where they keep dying around the map, but there's always someone farming. But I mean, obviously they didn't do too well with that sort of strategy, right? So I don't know. Doesn't feel that good for EG, honestly.
Yeah, it does feel like, you know, in recent that they've been kind of on the back foot a lot, but see what kind of plays they can make. They will empower up Arteezy. S4 needs to spend a little bit more time with his PA as he looks to accelerate his farm back into relevance. He's not too far off the Drow and the DK, kind of just keeping up, but still is an item or so behind.
I think it is a pretty big thing, middle, just harassing that. he didn't go battle for NPA, so the Magnus and him are playing on complete opposite sides of the map. This is like the first time he's really getting empowered and trying to farm up, but I think once PA gets Deso, they might actually start fighting, and that's going to be interesting this early.
Yeah, at least they prepared a couple of stacks for the PA, but like you said, he's still rather...
the scan, by the way. They scan out this. Fly's actually going to run up there.
Yeah, Fly going to kind of try and tank the gank, so to speak, but now they have S4 rotating in, but a blink Dragon Tail from CCNC into the arrow is going to find the Magnus. Terrorize will get the Dragon Knight off of the Magnus, but still the Mirana is nearby. She gets shackled. Curse and Crown will follow it up as well. No one dies just yet. Sumail with the win run there. RP on the south side finally will get the first kill of the fight onto Peter, and they'll find 33. Arteezy jumping forward onto PyCat, going to reduce a lot of his damage, but CCNC with the armlet still very tanky up on the front lines. Arteezy, though, Vanguard still pressing forward, and it looks like right now he's looking a lot tankier than we may have thought. As CCNC gets the Dragon Tail off, though, armlet toggles between the Fly right clicks, and the Drow on the south side finishing the Dark Willow as well. OpTic losing too early, but turning it to find 3 with the high ground, as Arteezy perhaps a little bit overconfident with that second jump up.
And that's the thing. I love the fact Zai, he can just, these armlet toggles are so easy when you have a Slardar continuously stunning these heroes. Like, you don't have to have a perfect armlet toggle, right? You just need a stun, and then you can armlet toggle during that stun. And damn, you were right. EG takes a quick 2-0, and then CCNC, he just baited him in. He's like, I'm low. Come get me. It's free kills, right? And they couldn't do it. 3
sentries as well. Grant just dropped down just for that fight, so leaving a little more of an economic hit to EG side, and definitely kind of looked good for them early. Had Arteezy made it out of that fight with his life, I definitely feel like it would have been a win, even if they traded evenly, but losing the PA there, not ideal.
Pardon me, Sumail is pretty much the only one who survives there, and they're just ready to fight. Shadowblade on Drow, you see his damage. Just a Dragonlance Shadowblade, this is a pretty easy Roche.
Yeah, benefiting from that precision aura as well while he's in the dragon form, and they got the corrosive haze. The weave though is going to be onto a couple of heroes. Still though, no RP for another 20 seconds for S4, so hard for them to find an opening. Dragon Tail does fly out onto Roche. The cast will be there in time. Power shot comes through, does not get the kill. But the DK could be in a little bit of trouble. Bramble May's going to fly out. Maledict is only onto 1 from PPD, and the Bedlam will finish off. Now the Skewer going to find a secondary target, which is PPD. And despite Aegis going the way of the Drow Ranger, they get a couple of kills on the EG side.
Yeah, the weird thing is, I'm not sure I like giving it to the Drow here, right? Like, she's good damage, but if it feels like if a Drow dies, she's going to die again when she comes back, unlike, say, a Mirana or a DK with Blink. That, I don't know. I like that they went for the Roshan. I think it was a good play, but I think they could have had a better Aegis choice there. Oh, the arrow hits him, so he's not getting it to the tower. Sumail just steals it from Arteezy because of it.
Easy 5-second arrow. They're still feeling a little confident with the DK down, and we'll continue to push the lane in. But yeah, I gotta agree with you. I mean, I hesitated there for a second, expecting it to be on the Mirana, since we saw the DK go down, knew the Aegis wasn't there. But they'll put it on the Drow for now. And PyCat is perhaps, you know, there's some argument to be made that he's the highest value member on the map. So just keep him alive if they can. And
it could be a very defensive Aegis, right? Like PyCat could just farm by his towers, even if they kill him. As long as you're near a tower, right, everyone TP's in, you're not killing him again. So it makes a lot more sense. You know, sometimes you just got to think of stuff MRP, and I was not thinking. Now I am.
Bottom lane, Zai doing a little stalking of his own, but not going to find anyone as S4 backs out. He's going to be joined by a few different teammates now, as, again, Peter with some more of these aggressive wards down, looking to loop around, but it looks like, for the most part, EG are weary to this, and they've even rotated Fly up to the north. You look at the Radiant Vision, and it's all centered around this tier 2 for the Dire on the top side of the map. So that is the place where they choose to play.
And will they want to defend this? Or they did use... Radiant saw that DK used his Dragon form to push middle, not even push the tower, just hit creeps, which was kind of interesting. Yeah, they just get a tower. I think they knew that would happen, and okay, sure. And he is switching, by the way, from... He had Deso queued up with a Mithril Hammer, right? Now he's going to BKB. Luckily, Mithril Hammer works for both.
Okay. I mean, still gives him a little bit of damage, but yeah, rather defensive build. Guess he feels with the Empower that he can maybe blow up the Drow right away. The Gust has, Gust has done some work here early on for PyCat, so...
Yeah, I think another thing is they've seen Sumail. He is starting to do a lot of damage in fights, and he's getting a lot of these kills. Maybe, hey, Arteezy, you just tank up, just hit some stuff. This guy will do damage. Oh, be careful walking up that hill. Sorry.
as you mentioned, the Dragon Form expiring, but still looks like this tier 2 going to be conceded by the Radiant as OpTic brings that down.
Damn. Yeah, this Drow attacking once every less than half a second with only a Shadow Blade and a Dragon Lance and a BKB. That agility gain from marksmanship especially.
Ooh. Nice blink away from Zai, has almost a point-blank range Spectral Dagger, or Stifling Dagger, excuse me, hits him, but he'll be able to extract himself, and that is a thwarted smoke attempt from EG as they look to find an opening there. And it does look like they've been pretty willing to fight anytime this RP has been off cooldown.
Yeah, and there comes the smoke from OpTic. Will they find it? This could be a big, either they find this gank bottom on the mag, or this could be a big 4-on-5 fight middle.
Yeah, S4 going to show on the lane now, though, and he's going to be the target. Gets the blink away. Oh, the crush going to whiff as well. Oh, it does connect mid-skewer, actually. And S4 could be in trouble here. Cass going to fly with the Corrosive Haze. He falls. And they'll try and push in mid. Meanwhile, Sumail going to look to reinitiate. Gets a 2-man shackle. They're going to try and bring down the starter. He'll pop the BKB. Still taking a lot of damage from the Death Ward, though. And on the north side, CCNC finds the kill onto Crit's Dark Willow. Arteezy was pushing in mid lane at the time and just not present quickly enough for the fight. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 on the back end after the S4 death, but this is an opening for at least the tier 3 here on the high ground. 20 seconds, neither of these two heroes available. CCNC going to dodge a Stifling Dagger. Shackle going to connect onto 2, but they don't really have the damage without the focus fire here. Jump forward from Arteezy. He's going to BKB, try to take out PPD. With the offensive weave, he'll get it, but he'll fall himself just to the right clicks. And this Drow Ranger lineup with 3 range cores here, putting to work. And the early MKB, as you mentioned.
Oh, man.
Doing some heavy lifting. Nice block on the arrow from S4. Going to keep Sumail alive. Shackle will not latch onto CCNC. And the first lane of Brax is going to go the way of OpTic with relative ease. They can't get anything further as there's tier 2s in both other lanes, but they should be very, very happy with this outcome.
Yeah, and it's an 11K gold lead. As you see, 1 buyback used from Dazzle. And wow, OpTic's just playing so, and I like how you bring up that you say the 3 range cores, because if you look, when that DK's in range for him, he gets that plus 60 damage from the aura, like you said, and that is nothing to sneeze at. 60 damage at 25 minutes into the game, that's huge.
Fly in trouble, gonna get hazed up, crushed, right-clicked. But they look to counter-initiate here. Weave is onto the Slardar, at least Peter in trouble. Arteezy, 2 seconds until BKB cooldown was available. Doesn't need it just yet. Cursed Crown onto Zai. He could be in trouble as well. Bramble Maze will not connect, but the sprint is there. Jumping on top of him, though, is Arteezy, and with the Stifling Dagger, they'll get another kill.
Oh, and now in the river, 33, solo killed. Wow.
Sumail finds a big one off the back of that, and after a huge win for OpTic bottom lane, they get a little confident. Zai looking for the solo kill near the Radiant Tower. And a good TP response from EG is going to mean they get a few kills, and they still have RP available.
That's the thing. I mean, OpTic's still very far ahead in this game. Like, if Roche was up there, then you're like, oh, man, EG just got 3 payoffs. They can get Roche. But OpTic took a good time to, you know, take a little bit of a risk there because they don't give anything up from those 3 kills.
Yeah. Just kills for the sake of kills. It will get Arteezy a little bit closer to the Deso, but really he only has, you know, single Mithril Hammer gold here, and S4, you know, hoping for the quick Roshan spawn, but I mean that's not even minimum.
Yeah.
Another few minutes. Arteezy does steal a stack though. You could kind of consider that an objective.
Yep. And I don't know if you get this MKB up on Pycat, he 3 to 4 shots Arteezy. Like Arteezy's gonna drop so fast to the MKB of Pycat.
Yeah, we already saw the 33 MKB put in work. He's looking for the BKB, the King Bar combination, to come out here soon, and isn't too far off. It's about 700 gold away from that. But it does buy EG a little bit of space here. They've done some farming. The cores have kept up admirably as far as Sumail and Arteezy go. S4 lagging behind a bit, but does have that sort of standard Blink and Crimson Guard build ready. He'll TP up to the top lane.
I think the big thing is you look at compare Zai's hero and farm to Crit's hero and farm, and you got a Yule's on the Dark Willow, which is almost a guaranteed the crown, but Zai with a Blink 4 staff, so much utility, and he can always get into the back lines, right? Like, oh, maybe Dazzle's back there trying to help. He can always get back there, while Crit can't really do that.
Yeah, Zai has put in absolute work this game, involved in 19 of the 24 kills.
It's damn good.
For the OpTic side. Sumail looking at an Ags.
And that's the thing, right? OpTic, you can just look at this game and, like, nobody has ever really been in the wrong spot. I mean, those last 3 deaths are the worst deaths they've had, and they're not that bad of death. They've just been right place, right time, completely playing right.
Yeah, very coordinated. I think through the whole first 20 minutes, the only thing we saw was the 1 death from PyCat early on in the top lane when they had made the move bottom. But other than that, been pretty flawless overall. CCNC 3, 2, and 5 on the DK, even after getting solo killed by Sumail, has recovered really nicely, working on his halberd here as well. So that could definitely throw a wrench into the plans. You said how much damage Sumail has been doing, kind of carrying the team before Arteezy gets a damage item, but just one halberd can kind of put an end to that. Yeah,
I think, and he also just hit low. We didn't tell you that DK just hit level 18. That is the best dragon. You got the Frost Dragon now. Not only that, I mean, you just look, but people don't realize what it actually does. The slow the movement speed, but the attack speed. 30 attack speed plus slash attack. I mean, these heroes are already hitting pretty slow, and they're just getting right-clicked down by Drow, but for some reason the gold lead's it's gone down about 2,000 more in the last minute. EG is farming. It feels like maybe OpTic should possibly push them. They still have the tier 1 top, but maybe they're just waiting for Roche, which is not a bad idea ever.
Yeah, they do have that lane of racks as well, so yeah, admittedly
always pushes.
Does look kind of small, the gold lead, considering that, but Arteezy, you know, obviously has the Empower. Sumail's been farming well. He does have that full Deso now on Arteezy, and he is level 18 as well, so keeping up.
Finally some damage from him, right? Like, if you watch when he jumped on the PPD, it took him 2 crits and like 3 hits. Yeah. If you're a PA, you want to be 2-shotting these supports, and that was when he just had BKB with the death, so we'll see. I just think if OpTic finds 1 or 2 good pickoffs, they could actually end the game. Not even just get Roche, just end the game.
We'll have to put some priority into taking out these off-lane towers, but at the very minimum, mid lane certainly at risk.
Now you do see, it looked like Drow did. Yeah, they saw that Drow used the aura as well as Moonlight Shadow. So EG, they're gonna do something of their own. They're coming for the smoke gang.
Yeah, 9-second BKB available to Arteezy. They will at least see if there's a ward here for the Dire. Point boost going to be picked up by Sumail, but yeah, it doesn't look like they'll find an engagement just yet.
See, Roche, we know Roche will spawn in 10 seconds. These 2 teams do not know that. So I'm interested to see who is going to see Roche is up first, because I feel like if OpTic knows it's coming on 5 seconds, yeah, they're going for a smoke into Roche, it looks like. Smoke into kill into Roche, pardon me. And are they going to run up this hill? They might.
Sumail very nicely positioned right now. They throw the ward down on the high ground. They will see S4 jump forward. Crush is going to be there, and the Dragon's Tail. CCNC pops the BKB to dodge the shackle. Fly in trouble. He's going to be dropped. S4 is the next one to fall. Trying to work on PyCat is Arteezy, but he gets kited around. The vision is there for the Dire. And with the Death Ward and the Crush, that's 3 heroes down. All they lose is PPD's Witch Doctor, and of course, the easy objective for them here will be the Roche. Siege, couple of Cardis pushing in mid lane as well need to be dealt with here as Sumail's bought back.
Yeah, when you see he even pops the aura, those siege units actually do an insane amount of damage.
They almost killed a tier 3.
They did. Oh, that's pretty strong. That's what happened. They just won a team fight. Arteezy was close to critting down 2 people, but almost is not good enough, especially when PyCat's doing 400 damage a hit.
Yeah, Arteezy, you know, rightly so, jumps right onto the Drow, but 2, you know, perfect. Again, we've been talking about the coordination. Slardar jumps in, hits the Dazzle up, CCNC blinks forward, hits the Magnus, and that's, you know, your save and your utility immediately kind of taken out of the fight. So EG forced to re-engage, but, you know, without their big save and their big ultimate ability. So they will be, you know, the one, I guess, silver line is they will be fight ready because those cooldowns are available. But now OpTic, with Aegis and more gold in their pockets, would be much more difficult to bring down.
Yeah, and time out that jump last fight. The fact CCNC, he baited out the like he didn't BKB right away. He baited out the shackle and then BKB'd it. So, I mean, if you had a shackle on 2 other people, could be easy kills. The fact he makes him waste that cooldown is really nice. And they, Fly knew there was a ward there. Now he's like, all right, we just lost a huge fight because of that ward.
Yeah. Moonlight Shadow from Zai. There is a ward. He'll get cursed up and thrown into the air. The Bramble Maze will be there as well. He forces away. Bedlam is there with the Stifling Dagger. They will get a kill on the Slardar. And that'll at least set back this Aegis push for a minute.
Yep. And they saw the Mirana, but they saw Moonlight Shadow just leaps away. And yeah, Gratz, you killed Zai. It's not that good. I mean, it's good. A kill's always good, but you guys are just falling more and more behind. As you said, PA wants to fight early. Like, PA actually looks decent in late game because they don't have the best late game heroes as well in OpTic. They have Mirana, as well as a Drowsberry farm, though, but 1 or 2 crits and Arteezy can turn it around, but he's very far behind in farm.
Yeah, and there are 2 MKBs, so PA, you know, not quite what she is earlier on.
Yep, not only that, that's the crazy thing, right? They have a Wind Ranger as well, and we saw even while Wind running, doesn't matter. You got an MKB, they're just smacking her up.
Extra value in this game with the 2 cores, both having some form of evasion. And even a blink picked up here by 33. So further looking to kind of join the initiation chain that we've seen with CCNC and Zai diving. They can just jump, blow up the back lines, and then feel pretty safe with their BKBs not to get blown up.
This is the triple stifling dagger picked up by PA. We've seen it more. People always got the lifesteal. Now more and more, especially in these fights, right? You never know. One of those 3 daggers crits, someone in the back lines could take a lot. And you got to take risks. You have to, like, you kind of have to hope on RNG for these crits from PA now.
Yeah, BKB dwindling down there for Arteezy at 8 seconds, so still decent. Again, they've done a really good job of throwing a wrench into the plans of EG. Their team fight is very reliant on sort of this Magnus, and S4 has been unable to kind of execute his plan. As Peter gets down a ward in the enemy base.
Yeah, Sumail saw high ground. Yeah, and Sumail did see that ward get placed because he placed it and then came out. Oh, they're going in backside.
Jump forward, CCNC again finds the dazzle, but this time S4, he's still in fighting shape. Arteezy on the backlines will get the Witch Doctor, but he's already popped his BKD. RP gonna whiff onto CCNC from S4. Aegis is gonna be popped on the Drought. Nice 3-man terrorize, but can they do anything off of it? Jump forward from Arteezy. He's gonna get slowed up though by Pycat on the backlines. Corrosive Haze is there as well. And Arteezy gonna end up falling now. Crit up in the air, gets the Shadow Realm off, trying to kill off Zai, but is likely to fall shortly as CCNC blinks forward. Godlike streak for Pycat, double kill for the Drow Ranger. 3 heroes dead, none of which have buyback. Arteezy already expended his buyback here, and it is going to be a very difficult defense for the boys in blue.
And you can talk about S4 missing his ultimate. The reason you miss those ultimates is because your positioning is so good on the other team, right? Like, they spread out Perlin. He went for the Hail Mary, which I think is the right play. I'd rather maybe hit 3 than definitely hit 1, because you're down 15K, right? You're not coming back if you don't make a big play. So good positioning by OpTic.
And seems all but a formality here as the Radiant base lies in rubble.
Yeah. Oh, whoa. Hey, Fly's dead. Oh, so's 33.
From Arteezy. He's going to kill off 33. Pycat, though, right-clicking away, takes another big crit from Arteezy. You talked about them needing RNG. They get a little bit of it there. But OpTic looking to put the pedal to the metal here. And Zai going to jump forward, find Arteezy. They don't even really need this kill as they've got Megas at this point. And 33 going to sound the applause for his squad. Sumail with the Corrosive Haze taking tons of damage is going to end up dropping crit. Leave to watch in horror as his base and his team are obliterated. OpTic, kind of as we mentioned early on, Grant, maybe the most coordinated, the most chemistry of the big 3 teams. And OpTic going to take a convincing victory over EG here.
Yeah, and as we just saw, I don't disagree with Sumail. He said, are you really going to tip me after that solo kill middle? Which, hey, but I mean, he's in Sumail's head right now. That's the point. Like, if you can tilt somebody mentally, you go do it, right? Like, that's you take every advantage you can get. He did get solo killed middle, but man, this was all OpTic. This was 100%. I would say OpTic played 110%. EG, they had some whiff skills and everything first game of the day, but OpTic played phenomenally.
Yeah, this is, I think, the best they've looked all day, and they didn't have to lean on the Bloodseeker to do it.
They didn't. Now we have everyone rejoin us. Everyone say hi to MRP.
Hi, MRP.
Thank you.
You mean Mr. P?
Mr. P. What is it? Is MRP, right?
It is, Grant. You got it. It's Merlini's fault, but since he's retired now, we can go back to MRP.
Yeah, my name used to be GRant. Everyone just called me Grant. I'm like, whatever, I'll just go with it. So, guys, what do you think? Was that just pure OpTic? I mean, obviously EG looked sloppy, but OpTic looked amazing. And you mix those two together, you stir it up in your witch's pot cauldron, and you got a
I love
good
that
game.
finish. I've always been a huge fan of the trash talk to an extent like that. That to me is great for the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's limits and going overboard and stuff, but what happened at the end there, I think we need more of that, frankly, as far as these rivals and competitions go. That was great to see. But yeah, OpTic, they're playing phenomenal. I agree with you, Grant. They actually looked really good against Evil Geniuses right there.
Shout out to Quinn. CC&C played really well.
For getting solo killed middle by...
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
you know what I mean.
He won the game.
Like his armlet toggling,
Yes.
his initiations were really on point. His quick reaction BKB usage, it was all like super important for that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CC&C has come such a far way.
Oh, even just like, remember 2 years ago? Oh, he's playing through Opens. Then last year, oh, he's in the grand finals of NA. He could qualify with Freedom. They looked like the best team, and now he looks even better. They're looking to it looks like now OpTic, they want that first seed after taking this win, but VGJ has to lose.
Wouldn't it be so? This could be really interesting if VGJ Storm now loses to EG, because then all of a sudden we're looking at a three-way tie for first place.
But that's still a long while down.
That's still a ways
Chill,
down. That's
baby.
tomorrow.
Chill. We got
Just
plenty
saying.
of time.
We do.
We still got more games today.
Going back after that game, that game real quickly. There was one specific part where Phantom Assassin was going towards the BKB, felt necessary in that game.
Yeah.
RTZ picked it up and then literally dove the Witch Doctor in the back lines, didn't even kill Witch Doctor, used the BKB, and then died right after. It's when that happened, you pretty much knew the game was over for EG.
Yeah, it felt like they were just behind from the beginning. When you're hoping for a Vanguard PA with Empower to get these kills, he doesn't do enough she doesn't do enough damage, right? Like, PA needs an item, needs at least one item, not Vanguard BKB. You need a damage item, 100%.
Brax, how do you think the Dark Willow turned out?
It's always so underwhelming.
Yeah, I think
Feels that way,
against this sort of lineup, you needed like a real do-shit hero, and I think Dark Willow is very unreliable in that regard.
She plays like a 5 hero.
Yeah.
Like, she wants to be in these lanes and fight because she's good at trading hits and everything, but when it actually comes to moving across the map, she's never going to really set it up. It's always more of like a follow-up kind of ability. And I don't know. I mean, teams just don't play this hero very often anymore. Clearly, the hero is still strong in certain situations. She does a lot of damage, but it didn't look very good there, to be honest. And that's, of course, small sample size. But honestly, Draw Ranger just changes the game, right? Yeah. Like, the pace of the game gets accelerated so much. You have these lanes that are just crushing now Mirana with tons of extra damage, and then your late game is extremely strong.
Yep, and, well, looked good. And it actually looked like a decent late game here. A lot of times you look at Dragger like, we got to win by 30 minutes, but she was strong the whole way through. It's because she had such a big advantage, right? Like, she died once and then just never again.
Empowers the other carries, right? Exactly. Like, Mirana is actually a real carry. That
and the DK in Elder form. Like and MRP was saying, I actually looked and I was like, damn, the DK is getting 60 damage every fight in his form. That's a ton. And you don't expect Drow or on DK when you pick. You're like, well, they probably did, but I didn't. I was like, damn. So that was hype, but there is going to be, I believe the next game is VGJ Storm Leviathan. We have it up there. We are going to take a quick break, but when we're back, we got to see, what if there's a crazy upset? Leviathan does beat VGJ Storm. That would just mess up everything. So stick around. We will be right back shortly. Love, kisses, and tons of NA Dota. Dun, dun, dun.